Sports fans, tonight here on LC Tiger Sports Live, it's varsity football, round 2 of the OHSAA playoffs. Our Liberty Center Tigers will be hosting the Huron Tigers tonight here at Rexlinger Stadium, Kip Curran Field. I'm your host, Mark the Captain Bly. Spike Whitman will be on the call with Mr. Scott Barrett and Mr. Brian Jigs Babcock to bring you the game here. But as usual, we'll start out with Coach Casey Moeller's interview, as we always do on Wednesday. And after that, it'll be our Swanton pregame show, and we'll be back after this.
LC Tiger Sports Live, welcome in Coach Casey Moeller for a Week 12 conversation. Week 2 of the playoffs, Coach Moeller. But before we get to a little bit of last week's game and preview Huron a little bit for our fans, I wanted to get your opinion a little bit about the reversal on ticket prices and all of that rigmarole with the OHSAA, and just get your opinion about, because you're still a dad, and your parents want to go to games, and this isn't some community that can afford to pay $15 per person, and it just got to be a little I think out of line, and I think the OHSAA responded. And maybe talk a little bit about, as a football coach, with all the kids you have and all those families, what are your thoughts about some of those things that you saw this week?
Well, I think the reversal in the ticket prices is a start. I think $15 is absurd for a high school game at any division, any level,
sure.
Whatever. You've seen a lot of comments online and in articles and media about this is supposed to be an experience for the community and for the students for
right.
sure. Forcing them to pay that much money. If you got a family of 4. You're spending $50, $60 to go to a high school game.
It's bizarre.
And concessions and whatever.
Right.
So
and gas to get there on the road and et cetera.
It's a challenge, and to charge more for cash versus electronic, again, to me is silly. So this is a reversal, and I know there was a legislator that had threatened some kind of legislation, which, normally when the government gets involved, things get worse. But, I'd almost invite that. Because I think it kind of forces the OHSAA's hand. There was an article in the Blade back before the season started
right.
talking about they have $18 million just sitting there.
Nonprofit.
Yeah, and they're a nonprofit.
Nonprofit, right.
And, what are they going to do with that money? So, I think it needs to be about, put on a tournament. They shouldn't be making money. What's it going to cost? And don't add cost to it. So,
right.
I'm not in the OHSAA board of directors or anything like that. I don't know that there's ill intentions there, but I think there needs to be some changes, and I think they've at least started that right now.
I think there's a frustration in our football community, not just here at Liberty Center or in our league, but I think throughout the state, and I think that those officials heard that. And as they transition from ticket prices and that whole infrastructure, this 16-team tournament, I've been pretty clear, just as a small member of the media, and a former coach and player, I think it's too much. I think it's too taxing. I think it's high risk. I think a lot of 16 seeds and even 13, 14, 15 seeds, don't necessarily want that game. Their team probably isn't worthy of being in the playoffs. I remember we talked about it in 06. Tatesley had an epic game against Archbold. We were 5-5 and relieved. Had a great win here in 06. Tate was wonderful. And then we find out we have to go play Hopewell Loud, and we get buried because we weren't very good. I just feel like the playoffs have lost their luster a little bit in these early rounds. But talk about the risk maybe of losing one of your top players as you're trying. This is a rare season for you that I know that you've threatened before, but this is a real opportunity to do something at a big level. I feel like this just doesn't feel right, the 16-team bracket. And last week you saw stands empty everywhere, too expensive. It just wasn't. This doesn't feel like the playoffs. What are your thoughts on that 16-team bracket?
Well, I think a couple years ago when they proposed expanding the playoffs, I was one that was not for it. And you heard arguments, well, you get some people that play a tough schedule and they don't, get the opportunity. But even that, I think, 12 teams is too much. If you're talking
Agreed.
about a bye week for high school, I'm not a big fan of a bye week because it gets you out of a routine, and really it becomes 2 weeks before you play a game,
right.
which I think is a long time. Can get teams out of rhythm. I thought 8 teams was probably optimal.
Sweet spot.
Are there times when deserving teams don't get in with 8? Probably. But I think 16 teams is pretty watered down. I thought there were some pretty lopsided scores. And even when you do get an upset where a double-digit seed might win a game I don't like that argument because, until I see a double-digit seeded team, win the region and go and play for a state title or something, I would say, that's not a super valid argument.
Well, there are pros and cons, and this isn't basketball. This is I enjoy the basketball tournament. I know you do. It's just much more of a wear and tear sport. And finally, the calendar for you. I mean, you get your 10 days in May now, and you're using them. And you were a guy that wanted the kids to play spring sports. I mean, you weren't an advocate of the May window. We have May. We've got 7-on-7s in June. At the end of July, you have your pre-two-a-day camp. You've got your two-a-days. You've got scrimmages in those two-a-days, that time frame. And now you may have a 16, 15, 14-week schedule. Casey, that's a lot of stuff on a 16 and 17-year-old guy. It's a lot on you guys as a staff to ask you guys to be engaged. And plus, you're in the weight room. Plus, these guys have basketball and different extracurriculars that aren't sports. That seems like a lot for football to me.
Yeah, I think,
we love it, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
We played a 15-week schedule last year, and it was taxing.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 weeks was a lot. It was exciting. And then we were done. It's like, man, we could have went another week, which, is tough on high school kids. And when we're backing off, what we do in practice and things like that a little bit to save their bodies. But another week of being there for a couple hours and doing things and out in the cold and the elements, it's a challenge. I don't know that you're going to go backwards or not. I don't know, but it's definitely a little bit much for my liking. But you have to do what you have to do when they make those decisions.
By the way, you have family, and your daughter's going through as well as senior year. You're missing a lot. I just think it's a lot. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. It's relevant, and I think we've talked about topics within your sport and those things you're dealing with, and I think you've done a great job. Somebody asked me this week about how's Liberty Center dealing with injuries, and I said, Casey Mulder and his staff. I played for Rex Lindgren, as you do. We always make reference to the old man. He would love all this. He loved practice. He wanted to play through February. I mean, he wanted to be an NFL guy, and he wanted to really get after it. You've really managed that. You've had some guys with some things, but no major injuries. That's hats off to you to manage these kids' health.
Well, we've been fortunate enough too, where we've had some games where we could hold some guys back a little bit.
Sure.
So, but the big thing is we want guys healthy when we need them, and so we have to do what we have to do, and it really becomes a great opportunity for younger guys to get more reps, and
that is a pro.
Yeah,
that has been a pro.
That's really the big thing. So we try to do that. We try to get guys ready that they might practice all week a lot or get a majority of the reps, and come game time, so-and-so is ready to go, and they get most of them, but those reps help for the next year as well. And if something were to happen in a game, they're ready. So.
Well, bottom line, I'd love to see this calendar on the football side be compressed and us get a chance to enjoy some different things as we head into the winter. Regardless, you're undefeated. You got to be really happy with that, and not that you're going to show a ton of emotion. Every week I sit there and I watch you after a post game. I don't want to say you're numb, but it's a real business thing for you. You do enjoy it, and there are parts of it. Other coaches probably enjoy emotionally the wins, but you've done a lot of winning here. You've got a program on the roll. Now you're 11-0 heading into Week 12. This Huron team brings a real threat, to Kip Kern Field and Rex Lindgren Stadium. Let's talk about Huron, 8-3, the 8 seed in this 16-team bracket. They got Genoa in kind of a. They got back, lost to Genoa early, got them last week. Let's talk about Huron as a broad sense. What do you see when you see Huron come into your park?
Well, I think Huron is really, really dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
They you could take some of the better players in our league and kind of make an all-star team and say, okay, that's what Huron looks like. They've got a running back that is big, strong, and fast.
A Division I caliber prospect.
Yeah, he's 225 pounds and runs a 10.9 100-meter dash.
That's big time.
Yeah, that's faster than anybody we have on our team. So they've got him. He reminds me of the Harold kid from Bryan a little bit. Big, strong, tough. They've got a slot receiver that has over 900 yards receiving.
Home run hitter.
Yeah, and he's a state placer in the hurdles and track, so he's got great speed. And both of those two are on their 4x2 state runner-up team. So tremendous speed, good size. He reminds me of the Rodriguez kid a little bit from Wassiana, the Johnson kid from PH. And so those two are very dynamic. The quarterback is elusive. He's a good athlete. Again, reminds me a little bit maybe of the Kepler kid from Bryan and what he can do in his skill set. And then they've got a 6'4" wide receiver on the outside They can bring in another running back who's 190 pounds, and then they have good size up front. They're not overly huge, but they've got enough size that they can block well, and really do some damage offensively. And then defensively, again, they've got 225-pound outside linebacker, a 220-pound inside linebacker, 280-pound nose guard. And then they've got all those athletes in the back end. So they're very sound fundamentally on defense. So when I look at it, this is going to be a huge challenge. I don't think anything about this game is going to be easy. And so we're really going to have to work. And the big question for me is, how are we going to respond when we're in a game that isn't going to be easy?
Some adversity, yeah. For sure.
And then you couple that with, I know a lot of people like Max Walker as a kicker. Wait till you see this kid kick that they got. He's kicked a 50-yard field goal this year already, and he's putting balls 10 yards deep into the end zone. So,
well, make no mistake, we love Max Walker. We love Ian Rosebrook. These are good kickers, but this kid can really get it.
Yeah, he's legit.
In a tight game, he can kick a 50-yard field goal. Let's dive in a little bit on offense. They are, and I don't say dynamic, but they have players that can threaten you. They don't like to go deep a lot. They're more of a controlled, West Coast, that's an overused word, but they're a controlled passing game. They don't take lots of chances, but they do convert a lot of first downs. They stay ahead of the chains. It's a pretty well-coached football team, and these guys have matchups. I mean, I know you like to play some zone on your back end, but this number 5 kid is a kid that you'll see that can do a lot of things, move the chains. He can go the distance. The running back's a meat grinder, and I love the seniors. They got a lot of key seniors, and you love seniors. I think you have 14 of them yourself. So it's a matchup for you defensively that you'll be tested on all sides. It's not just a running team or a passing team. They're pretty well balanced.
Yeah, and they're creative in how they get their guys the ball. Like, they throw the ball about 60% of the time,
right?
But probably half of that are screens out of the backfield, or bubble screens to the slot receiver, or slip screens, things like that. So they're very high percentage throws. They're getting the ball out of their hands quickly, getting it to an athlete in space, and then their athletes block well on the perimeter. So it's tough.
Sounds familiar. We do a little bit of that.
Yeah, and you talk about a passing team, want to get pressure and blitz, but they catch and throw so quickly. If you're blitzing all the time, you're negating guys that can run to the ball and tackle, getting them out of position. And then if you want to drop back and play all kinds of coverage against that stuff, they can pound you with a 225-pound running back or a quarterback that's very elusive. So they're very well coached. The coach knows what he's doing offensively, getting the athletes the ball in space and formationally making you adjust defensively. So they're going to be a huge challenge for us. It's probably nothing like we've seen yet this year.
Well, we had a big-time matchup early this season in Week 4. We've had some tests, but this one's, to me, as a defensive type of coach, and you certainly come from that side of the ball, this does stretch you a little bit. I saw, a little bit of the scouting report, and I've talked to some coaches. It's exciting to see finally. Again, you've had some games that haven't been so. These guys are going to threaten us here. And the other thing that I always try to measure is I look at the schedule and try to find common opponents. We all do as analysts, but I think you guys as coaching staff, you're watching some key things on film. How good are they up front? Do they like to block? Do they like to hit? Are they well coached? And I think they check a lot of those boxes. Maybe the teams we played down the stretch haven't, but they're as complete of a team as we've seen.
Yeah, there's no doubt they can do a lot of different things, and I think their competition. You look at they were 7-3, but they're playing some high quality competition. Sure. They played Milan Edison and got beat. Milan Edison's number 2 in our region, top 10 team in the state. They played Genoa, who's a playoff contender. So they've played some quality teams and beat them, and had some good games. So again, Huron is definitely going to be a huge test for us, and it's going to be, as I said, a challenge. I think probably for us, we have to tackle as a team, because if you miss a tackle out on the perimeter, these guys are going to go the distance. We're not going to be able to catch them, so we got to get a lot of hats to the ball.
That's Huron on offense. Huron on defense. At some point, people are going to turn this film on, and some teams down the road are going to turn this film on and say, Liberty Center likes to run. We've heard this all year long now. We're ready to play. I'm sure Huron is seen enough film to understand we are a running football team. But I like what I've seen out of your passing game. Patrick Henry, 7 for 7, great efficiency. Landon Amstutz can do a lot of different things in the passing game, and your receivers have matured a lot, I think. Landon Cruz has provided some things. Certainly, Grady Miller is a guy you can throw to. You're throwing to your tight end a little bit more. Bainfield caught a great pass last week. So, we haven't necessarily had to throw a lot. Do you sense this week Liberty Center offense has to be more dynamic, or do you just kind of respond to what you see at the moment?
Well, I think we're going to try to establish the run obviously first, but we do need to be able to pass, and I think their play action is going to play a big part in that. And that's one thing we've been working on a little bit all year. We haven't had to really use it. If we have to get into a shotgun and throw the ball over the field, we're going to be probably in trouble.
For sure.
But I think we've got the capability to do that if we have to. But I think our efficiency has gotten really good here as of late, and hopefully we can continue that. But I think it's all predicated on the fact that we can run the ball and we can play action, and teams are geared to stop our run. So it does give us some holes in the secondary maybe sometimes. So if we have to, as coaches, we got to find where are those holes at. Coverage-wise, what are they doing? What kind of concepts look like they could be successful? Where we've really struggled, like in playoffs, is when you get a team that can put a minimal number of guys in the box and still stop the run and dedicate a lot of guys to stopping the pass. We struggle offensively, and that's because that team is good. So we need to be able to move the ball and keep the chains moving on the ground as much as we can, and then kind of exploit bringing an extra guy in the box and things like that.
Well, one of the things that we see in the booth, and we talk a lot about, because we're all pretty close. We've all played together, we've all coached together. I see you guys as a staff. I mean, there just seems to be, you're just in good rhythm as a staff. You're getting really good information from the booth, a lot of great communication on the field. You know where to go to get additional. I mean, you have a very good sense of what you want to do, Casey, going into a football game. But what I've seen is the adjustments you guys have made. You haven't been tested all that much, but the IQ of this staff, the experience, the playoff experience, talk about how that really helps you in game when you face something that maybe is a wrinkle, and offensively you've got to adapt and adjust. Your staff does a great job of that.
Yeah, and I think part of that is the continuity not only in the staff, but the continuity in what we've done schematically. This is kind of an offense that Liberty Center's been running for 40 years, maybe a few wrinkles here and there, but we kind of know that if, coverage-wise, if they're doing this should be open. If they give us this front, we need to attack here and things like that, or how we want to block things. And this week is certainly, we've got a few wrinkles that we think we may have to adjust here in some of our blocking and even some of our passing attack. So we have to be ready for that, and that was one of the messages we kind of gave the players is, as we get in the playoffs here, we got to be able to adjust on the fly. And we've got some very smart kids that, you talk about coaches finding things. We have players that can come off the field and tell us things that, not every year we've got that, but we've got some very intelligent kids, and they have a high football IQ, and they can relay information to us and help us make decisions, and that's a huge asset, because a lot of times, you might get a kid and you ask him, where's this guy playing you, and he's telling you something, and then you watch film and it's like, no, he wasn't doing that. But these kids, when they tell you something, it's generally true.
Talk a little bit about, obviously we've had a good year, and we have a lot of good players, and we've got great coaches. We've got a program here. But talk a little bit about, don't give a lot away. You never do. This is like a Jim Tressel interview, all the time, which we enjoy. But we know that you share, but you're not going to share everything. But what do you think our most vulnerable part of the game? What side of the ball? Is it special team? Where is there a crack in this? We say, look, 11-0, and they're top in the state, and they're doing all these things. But you guys do a lot of self-scouting. You sit there on Sunday. It's not just preparing for the opponent. You're like, ooh, we got to shore this up. If you were to talk about one area where Liberty Center has some vulnerabilities, and this broadcast traditionally is for our own, our own fans. But like, where do you feel like you want to grow a little bit here late in the season?
Well, I kind of said it. Still, we can continue to get better in the passing game, especially pushing the ball downfield. As efficient as we've been here lately, we've taken some shorter intermediate passes and made big plays. We're not a huge throw the ball downfield deep and go make plays team. So that's one area where we could probably get a little bit better. We always want to have a great screen game, and we've got screens in. We use them sparingly, and so you never know how good are we at those. Are we very efficient? So that's an area that I think we probably need to continue to work on. And we're just waiting kind of for the right moment to pull those out. Part of what makes those successful for us is the fact we don't do it a lot and we catch teams off guard. Sometimes when teams screen a lot, you can prepare for it and kind of shut it down. But that's just not kind of how we're built. So that screen game and the passing game would be some of it. And then still, you always look at everything. And I think defensively, we had question marks about the secondary coming into the season. We've played exceptional back there, but okay, we still have some question marks. And if we see an elite passing team, are we going to be able to stop them? So, and this week might be a test for us.
11-0, league championship. You guys have been not threatened a lot. I don't want to say it's been easy, but it's certainly been a very execution-based kind of season. It's getting exciting. We're getting down the playoff tournament trail here. We wish you great luck this week against a really good opponent in Huron. It should be a very interesting matchup here in Rex Lincoln Stadium, Kip Kern Field. So we wish you luck this week, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach.
Thank you.
All right, we're back here for the Swanton Welding pregame show. Once again, I'm your host, Mark the Captain Bly. Spike Whitman on the call. Mr. Scott Barrett on the analyzation, the analyst. And then, of course, the precision analyst, Mr. Brian Jiggs Babcock. So, guys, I'll tell you what, this is, Huron's, this is going to be probably, to me, guys, the first real test of Liberty Center in the last probably 5 or 6 weeks.
Well, we talk about it a lot, and Spike and Brian will spend some time on this in the pregame, the Swanton Welding pregame. Thank you, Norm Zeider. This football team is loaded with key elements that will give Liberty Center all kinds of problems tonight. They've got an outstanding slot receiver. They've got a top-notch running back that's a state 100-meter runner. They've got a senior offensive line. They've got an 8-year coach, Spike. They got a lot of pieces. They got a lot of seniors. And they got a program here that they're not afraid to play Liberty Center tonight.
Yeah, 4 straight appearances in the playoffs. Yep. So certainly, and at 8-3, they're capable of playing good football. They played a tough schedule. They just for a little bit of juice on that. Huron in the in the regular season against 500 or better teams. They averaged 23 points a game, gave up 28. But 3 teams that they lost to were all divisions higher. They were 26-7 combined record. So Huron knows how to play. They know how to win. They know how, and most of all, they know how to compete. So all of a sudden, whatever went on this year with Liberty's dominance in the NWAL now has been thrown out. It's all new, and this is real playoff football.
Brian, we talked a little bit about wins and losses, and Spike did a great job there of kind of summarizing some of their losses and the teams that they had to play that were divisions bigger. But last week was a huge game for them. They avenged an earlier tight loss to Genoa, and I really feel like that's a character builder, a momentum builder. That was a tight game, and they were able to get that thing done late. And that's coaching, and that's veterans and kids that have been through it. Talk a little bit about what you see out of this Huron team that makes you believe this will make this tonight a great football game.
Yeah, they offensively they're very dynamic. They got a quarterback that is a senior. He can run it. He can throw it. They'll look to get him out of the pocket a lot, roll him out. The main threat is number 5, Bo Harkle Road. Excuse me. He is very dynamic. Ball in his hands. They will look to get him in motion, get him in some space where he can make a guy miss and he can take it to the house. A running back, number 15, Andrew Delaney. Really hard runner, big kid. If he gets a crease, he can take it to the house. He's got some breakaway speed with a big offensive line. So they will certainly threaten us offensively. Secondary linebacker is going to have to be ready. The pass game is going to happen early and often tonight.
I really think, Spike, and I think you've seen it, and you looked at their schedule and the teams that they beat and the teams that they lost to. You talked about liking to compete. Huron likes to compete. They go out and overschedule at times. Programs that are bigger in terms of their number of boys and competitive balance. They are unafraid. Talking to some people that are from the Huron community, this is a team with a lot of confidence. This is a team with an 8-year head coach that, to your point, has made the playoffs the last 4 years. They are no strangers to playing big games. And last week against Genoa, they had lost early in the season to Genoa.
Very tight loss, too.
Very tight, 21-20, something like that. So, Spike, I know you've kind of outlined what this Huron team looks like, but when you watch this team warm up, you've got a player in Cody Scroggins at quarterback that can throw a good football.
Yep.
I mean, these guys can throw the football a little bit. They spread the field. Brian talked about Bo Harkleroad. Here's a kid right there who went to state last year in the hurdles. You can't teach speed. These guys have it in aces. Running back Andrew Delaney, a 6'2", 225-pound senior. Again, he's their workhorse in the backfield, but again, speed. I think they're really going to stress Liberty Center's elite defense tonight, Spike.
Well, right, and we've done it on beef and brawn and toughness at all three levels of the defense. But again, like you say, speed. All they need is that one sliver, and they can create a 40-yard gain. We may shut them down several runs in a row, and all of a sudden they hit a home run, either in the air, which they prefer a little bit more than the rush. But they're capable, and that is the whole key, spreading the defense.
When they spread the defense, though, too, Brian, as we talk about their speed and their perimeter players, when you've got that kind of speed and you can spread the field, that gives them some matchups. Mm-hmm. And we have played exceptionally well in the defensive backfield. I mean, Grady Miller has been outstanding. I mean, you look through our roster and the players we've had step up. Cam Colley has been phenomenal. Landon Cruz, of course, has been outstanding. We've had really key good play from Aiden Talon out there. But tonight, getting defensive backs and getting wide receivers to the ground.
Yep.
They're going to throw a lot of short stuff. They're not going to sit back in the pocket and wait for the rush. This guy likes to get rid of the ball, and they want to get balls to their playmakers, and our defensive backs are going to be stressed. Get to the point of attack and get guys to the ground. Maybe not be the biggest hitters tonight.
Right.
Sure tacklers, get them to the ground.
Tackle and rally. This defense is going to have to rally tonight. We've talked about how they have run to the ball these last few weeks, just showing 9, 10, 11 guys within a screen on a tackle. That's what we're going to have tonight. We have to have rallying. Everybody's going to have to be to the ball.
And Spike, we talk about that just a little bit. One of the things that I'm really struck by Huron, and I really like a lot about them, they can go negative yards, 1 yard, negative yards, and all of a sudden, boom. Big-time play. They're never out of a drive. They're never out of a sequence because they've got playmakers. And you say they're 8-3 and Liberty's 11-0. That's all great. None of that stuff matters. Huron doesn't give a flip what Liberty is.
Yep.
Huron has come here to win one football game. Being 11-0 is phenomenal, and we'll talk about Liberty Center season a little bit and what they've been able to accomplish in particular last week. But you would agree, and we've seen this a lot, and you've seen it maybe the most of anybody in the booth. On any given night, the records, the statistics, all the awards and accolades and preseason predictions go out the window. This Huron team's got a lot of weapons, a lot of speed, and a lot of experience.
Well, when it's just simple math, you get out of the 16, you get down to 8, and all of a sudden that 8 is there. Even if it's an 8, he's there for a reason.
Right.
He just didn't bumble his way into it. There's talent here, no question.
I think another thing we need to talk about too, and I think we talk a lot about our offensive line guys, and it's been phenomenal. We'll go through that a little bit later. We talk about them a lot, and we need to because they're the heart of our rushing attack. But Huron has very good senior offensive linemen that have had 2 and 3 seasons of full season snaps and snaps in the playoffs. Left tackle, Vinny Majoy, senior, 6'1", 220. Left guard, Ben Davis, 5'11", 210. Center, Evan Trevino, 6'2", 260. He's the middle of that offensive line. He can move those nose guards, those zero techniques. He's had a very good season, probably a first-team All-League player. Right guard, Aiden Bartson, and right tackle, Kyle Lehman at 6'2", 260. These guys have size. And there's nothing better than when you have an offensive line, Brian, that have been playing together, that know each other, that know the system, that have a lot of confidence. It's very rare that you see an offensive line with 5 seniors and a number of these guys with 2 and 3 years of starts consistently. That is impressive.
Yeah, it really is. And watching them a little bit on film, they can move people on an offensive line.
They can.
And we talked about the running back, the big running back. If he gets a crease, he can really go the distance here. So it's really going to be important for us up front to be stout, linebackers to be flying around in case there is a crease. To be there for the running back before he can get going.
Brian, you played in college, Division II, Ohio Dominican. You played in what our defense looks to be a rover. middle of the field, kind of a strong safety. You probably played some cover 2. You played some cover 1. You also played stuck the line of scrimmage in the run game. When you played against a guy that with the size and the speed of Andrew Delaney, 6'2", 225, runs a 10.92 100 meters in the state finals last year. That's a big dude that can pick him up and put it down, get to the end zone in a hurry. As a safety, as a defensive back, what is your mentality with a guy that size and that speed?
Yeah, you're coming down, not flying necessarily, under control, because you're going to want to break down a little bit on that guy because he can stick his foot and get by you, or he can just run right over you. So you're going to be a little bit more subtle than when you're coming downhill to make a hit on a big fella like that.
When Casey was talking to me this week in our interview and a little bit before and after, and Mark and I get a chance to have some not live words or not on air words, Spike. He talked a lot about tackling. He talked a lot about we got to get these guys to the ground. You can't let Bo Harkleroad catch a ball, break tackles, because these guys can go the distance. Mm-hmm. Andrew Delaney, if you don't break down like Brian said, that is a big dude that can run through some tackle, Spike, and then outrun your fastest guys. So you've got to really be assured and you talk about tackles all the time. You're great at outlining how balanced our tackling has been, how good we have tackled. But I'll tell you, at the end of the day, tonight will offer quite a challenge for our linebacker and defensive back group getting guys to the ground.
Well, I think with what we see in practice, these guys are rugged. Their Liberty Center is hard hitters, and this is the mentality. This is the spirituality, almost, if you will, to what sells this program.
The spirituality, I like it.
Yes.
The animal spirituality,
yes,
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
They buy into it. They have been coached very well. And the reason that is because they're very coachable. They have lent themselves into the system, into the program, that this field belongs to us. Any game belongs to us. And Liberty Center will approach this not as, oh boy, look out, we've got to stay with these guys. No, they know that it's going to be tough, but they know that we are going to play the game hard, tough, 48 minutes. And one thing will not lead to another. Everything is its own game within one play.
Yeah, Huron, we've talked about their top players and their senior offensive line. But, Brian, they're not devoid of depth and role players. Number 4, Paul Maloney, a 6-foot, 195-pound junior, another guy with experience.
Yep.
Wingback, number 13, Donnie Hartley, 6'3", 220, another guy with experience.
He's a really good linebacker, too.
He's a senior. Yep. I mean, I'm going down the line, and I'm looking at this. You've got a receiver, 6'4", 190, Jackson McNulty. I mean, these are good-looking athletes. That team is formidable. They bring one of the things I think Huron brings to Rex Lindgren Stadium and Kip Kern Field tonight is size.
Yep.
But I wanted to highlight and talk more about how our defense is going to counter some of the things that Huron does, because we've outlined how good they look. They've got skilled guys. They've got seniors. They've got linemen. But really, Spike and Brian, Liberty Center has won the battle of the hitting consistently each week. I had lunch today with Nick Miller, and we talked about, is there any nuances or anything that you're looking for? And he says it really comes down to the physicality of the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And to me, that is really where that's been the difference maker.
That's been the separation.
That's been the difference maker.
Yep.
And Brian, talk a little bit about how when you have a team with this many seniors and this many game changers as Huron brings to the park and a lot of experience, what is your thought on how Liberty's defense has to play that tonight?
Yeah, we got to be stout up front, and what a good defense does, defensive line, is they just continue to hit you. And when an offensive lineman continues to get beat, and he's getting beat, and he starts letting some doubt kind of creep in and say, maybe I can't block that guy. And that, I think that's what you may run into tonight with this defensive line, and then you get into our secondary, and you start to hit, and you start to feel some of those hits, and you're like, maybe I don't want to come across the middle. Maybe I don't want to feel that. So that definitely plays into the mentality of you as a football player. When you continue to get hit, you get hit hard, you get hit like you maybe have never been hit all year. That plays a factor.
I think that might be what the game plan is tonight, Spike, is that they bring so many experienced and talented players and a really good, solid program. But I don't know if they have felt or experienced, I think, the kind of hitting and violence that we, legal discomfort that we bring on defense. And I want to talk about some of those players that we're going to counter this great offense with tonight. But you've got guys like Landon Bachleman, who might be, the Region 18 or State Player of the Year in Division 5, and that's how good of a defensive lineman he's been. Zyder, he's had a great season this season. Xander Zyder's been great this year. He has been a first-team all-league caliber player in his production. We've gotten great play out of number 70, Seth Navarre, and we've had great depth all year.
Noah Jensen.
Noah Jensen's been great.
Yep.
Our defensive line, Hunter Spangler, has been so good all year, Spike. Talk a little bit about our defensive line and some of the things that you've seen from them.
Well, when you mentioned a lot of these guys already, but you've got Zyder, third on the team in tackles, Bachleman, fifth on the team in tackles as linemen,
wow.
And, of course, Seth Navarre. And they can interchange those guys. They don't have to have Baki in the middle. Baki is just as good as that outside defensive tackle. And then, of course, you've got the Goose, Brandon Giesecke,
the Goose,
Spangler, and Noah Jensen. I mean, that goes 6 deep.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got other guys that plug in well there. Let's see. Stephen Brogan could plug in anywhere on the football field.
Right.
He could be a defensive lineman. He can be a
linebacker.
He can a sniper. The kid's got toughness, and there's more. So then you get into the linebackers, and out of our top 7 tackles, all 4 Cruz boys make that. Number 7 on the list of team tackles is Garrison Cruz. What a great backup to an already overwhelming
freshman.
Yes,
Garrison Cruz.
Trent Cruz leads the team in tackles. Colton 6th. Waylon Rentz is,
probably second or third.
Second on the team in tackles. And then look at the snipers. These maybe are 2 really big key positions. Colton Chambers, Thomas Moeller, Brooks Bainfeld, and then Max Weaver gets in there as a sophomore sometimes. But these guys bring a toughness. They bring endurance. They bring quickness, but yet I would like to see them play middle linebacker, too. I mean, they bring that much to the table in all the spots.
And real quick, Spike, that sniper position is going to be key tonight because you're going to have a lot of slant routes and some of those routes inside where those snipers are going to be sitting there waiting.
Oh,
and they're going to be key tonight to be jumping routes and to be hitting that receiver up on those quick slants.
Well, the exciting thing tonight for us, too, I mean, obviously this is a big night, another home playoff game. We've got the girls cross-country team at the state meet this weekend, Spike, and they're in the lobby geared up watching their Tigers, and then tomorrow morning they run for a state championship. I know that Coach Kenny is psyched up for this team and looking at a top 3 finish. The girls are very focused. They've had an awesome year. They've really come through leagues, and they've come through the district and regionals, really prepared to run this meet tomorrow. And, of course, you've got Minster sitting there, but Liberty Center has had a great year running, and those girls are poised. We've got a couple of big-time seniors in Gracie Miller, Michaela Miller. You've got some young kids in there. I think there's a lot of talent in that team, and I think Kenny Barnes has done a phenomenal job coaching that girls team.
Well, and everything right now at Liberty Center, all the programs
it's been a phenomenal fall.
Are on an upswing.
Can I do it?
Go do it.
Shut up, Digger!
Shut up, Digger. Digger, this is the time you don't have to shut up. You can tell him to shut up because you're running the state tomorrow with those girls, buddy. So the fall has been a phenomenal time. We wish the girls a lot of luck tomorrow, and we'll be looking for maybe even a sneaker state championship. But getting back to tonight's matchup.
Yeah, let's get back to. I want to get back to our defense. I did some scouting of the.
You have some enthusiasm in your voice when you talk about our defense, Mike.
Oh, buddy.
I love it.
Liberty Center has given up 3 touchdowns in the first half all season, and I'm going to leave out the teams that had losing records, but the 6 teams that we played that had winning records, we gave up a total of 3 touchdowns. That's it in the first half. Now, first game against Tenora. Tenora had a 70-yard drive in 14 plays. That was in the first half. That is the only sustained drive of the season to score against Liberty Center. Tenora, after a Liberty fumble, had a short field, scored from 23 yards out on 5 plays. The only other touchdown scored against Liberty's first-team defense was Archbold ran back a kickoff return of 94 yards. That is it. First half. Liberty Center has outscored the teams with winning records 190-20, which equates into a 32-2 imbalance in favor of Liberty Center.
Well, the namesake of the stadium, Rex Lindgren, the legend back here having a little bowl of soup, is reminding us this wasn't necessarily against the first team. We've given up some points maybe on some of those second, third teams, or down some of those down the depth chart lineups, which, hey, we have high expectations for those kids too. But I think our first team guys, Brian, they have been phenomenal. We talk a lot about our offense, and we'll get to it. Our defense has been ridiculous.
Yeah, it's you watch film and it's hard to find a hole.
Yeah.
Like what am I going to do
maybe
against this team?
We thought maybe the defensive backfield could be. There were some question marks that first half against us. We've talked about this. That is gone.
Yeah,
they are a leader of this team.
Yeah, the corners are playing great. We got a couple ball hawk safeties. Obviously, our linebackers. I think this group of 3 linebackers is as good as I've seen maybe ever in a long time, and the defensive line is just dominant every single week.
Well, Spike talks about it each week. I mean, really, I think the best tackler in this league and maybe in the entire division is Trent Cruz. I mean, you talk about Colton Cruz being phenomenal. I really like Waylon Rentz. He's a meat eater, but I'll tell you what, a tackler and maybe one of the best readers I've seen in generations. Spike has been has been Trenton Cruz. He's been phenomenal, and I've been number 5. He leads our team in tackles, but if you watch him on the field,
he'll beat the running back. A lot of times.
He does. He just has a great high IQ. That's the one thing our linebackers have, in particular Colton and Trenton. These guys have high IQs. They're really well schooled in the film room. Spike, you're in there a lot watching film with them. Those guys are attentive. Our linebacker coaches do a phenomenal job getting them ready. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Eric Weimer is an all-time Hall of Famer, maybe a top 10, top 15 player in the history of this program. You got Brian Hefflinger in there, who was a 2-time All-Ohio kid. Yeah. I mean, you've got some talent on the coaching staff teaching these linebackers, Spike, and these snipers. These defenders all year long not only have been productive, but they've been dominant.
It's just phenomenal when you see what has progressed. Liberty Center. Let's gear into the offense. I mean, listen to these running stats. Colton Cruz 12 yards a carry. Trent 11. Rentz 11. Chambers 8. Thomas Moeller 8.5 yards a carry. Super. Liberty Center's offense 3,600 yards rushing, giving up. That's 8.5 yards a carry, and they've given up only 780 yards on the season. That's 2 yards a carry, and that includes all 4 quarters, all three teams. The passing yardage, and I think there's one key stat in the middle of this. Colton Chambers averaging 18 yards a catch. Trenton 17. Landon Cruz 16.5. Bainfelt 15. Colton Cruz 15. Talent 11. Zach Weaver 10 yards per catch. Now, they're not averaging 3 and 5 or anything, or 8 or 10, but right up and down the line, this is yards after the throw, yards after the catch, the yak. These guys run great routes, and Amstutz lays the ball on the money. He's averaging 66% this year,
That's
completion
impressive.
percentage. And a Liberty Center quarterback, I don't remember the time, has ever been able to be up at that level.
When you have a dominant running game like Liberty Center does, there's so much to the passing game. And I think that's why Rex Lindgren really wanted to run the football. He kind of felt like he could control the clock. He could move the chains. I think he felt like we wanted to be a physical team. But we've got a good quarterback. We've got good receivers. We've got good pass catchers. But so many pieces have to come together in the operation, Brian, for us to be a good passing team, which we have been, to Spike's point. First, we have to have a good offensive line. Mm-hmm. And it's not just good at pass pro, but it's good it's taking that first step, and those first reads for those defenders are reading run. So they get to that line of scrimmage. The next is the ball handling. Yep. I think Landon Amstutz, Spike, has handled the ball like a real senior, a real veteran, meaning the fakes, the crispness.
Great fakes.
He just sells the play. So not only is the lineman stepping one step forward, which gives that defense a read, and they're already playing run, thinking run. They're sneaking up, sticking their nose in the line of scrimmage. Then Landon handles it so well, and then the running backs are faking, carrying fakes out like they're running. It just completely fools a lot of the defenses, and all of a sudden you've got guys running free. And I think there's been a lot of yak, but there's been a lot of wide open guys because we've been a phenomenal running team all year.
If you're in the secondary and you continue to see 7, 8 run plays in a row, naturally you want to come downhill. You want to get that extra step and come down, and that's all it takes sometimes. You take that one extra step, and that tight end goes right here. He's by you, and it's over. So, and I've been there, like I against Delta, where I'm coming downhill, and then they hit a boot pass, and you're like, uh-oh.
What happened?
And he's by in, it's over with.
Was Kamick from Delta, was he right before you?
Okay. So he was a senior, he was a year before me, yes.
Well, I would just
say.
We
had a war over there my junior year. So that was a great win.
There was I think we ran a 35 power about 9 straight times, and Eric Weimer looks at the sidelines or whoever. I mean, somebody's like, no more. Let's go.
They had 9 guys in the same hole. I look back at Eric. He goes, audible. I go, I'm not audible, and we get a 10 yards.
I'm telling you, Spike, that night at Delta, and I just love playing Delta. It was just my favorite team to play against. And we ran, I don't know, it was 8 or 9 straight 35 powers to Eric Weimer, and that is exactly how it happened. Rex signals in 35 power for the 9th time. And he says 35 power, and Eric Weimer, who's a good friend of both of us, said no more. And Brian says, you're going 35 power, big boy. And I think what that means is that, and what that says about Liberty Center is that we want to be physical. And when you're a physical, awful, angry, hungry running team like we are, with the way our backs run and the way we block downfield, that is viciousness like no other. This team here, it is kind of redefined. We've almost back to the future. This team has taken us back to those late 80s and 90s teams that were just brutal to play against.
Well, and even the 80s and the 90s, all that is just the second coming of what we saw around Liberty Center in the 60s,
Norm
and
Decker.
the 50s, and the 40s, and
Minor
the 30s.
Kirshner.
Oh, yeah. It's a lifestyle.
This isn't
here.
new. Yeah, this is not something new. It started with Minor Kirshner, maybe even before Minor. Obviously, Norm Decker. You just keep Ron Rollins. It was just physicality was kind of our namesake, wasn't it, Spike?
Absolutely. I mean, it was just. You didn't know any other way. I mean, they used to laugh about guys back in the 30s because sandburrs grew all over the place. And, we were tough enough. We played out on that sandburr football field.
Well, I'll tell you what, the best barber in the state of Ohio is Hal Huber. He's over in Bowling Green. I drive over and I get my hair. There's 20 million hairs on your head. Hal Huber does not miss one. Okay. And we sit there, we talk about Liberty Center football, and he was brought up in the Norm Decker era. And I'm going to tell you, to listen to his stories about Norm Decker and how tough those practices were and how fierce they were, they competed so hard against each other, Spike. When they played another team, good luck, because that's how tough Norm Decker was.
And Hal Huber was a tough nut. I mean, he wasn't the biggest guy. He wasn't the fastest guy. He wasn't, but he was a great competitor. He was a leader. He was the kind of guy that walked down the hallways in school between periods and stuck his chin out, and he was just a little bit on the cocky side, but he was tough.
He was.
And that whole thing, that leadership, just from that everything focused.
I mean, you just pull a guy like a Hal Huber, who wasn't an all-star, wasn't an all-state player, tough and rugged, and played with great passion for Liberty Center in the Norm Decker years. But you're right. This has been in the DNA in our program. And I talk a lot about Rex Linger, and I do love Rex Linger, and I think Rex got us back to some of those Minor Kirshner, Norm Decker, Ron Rollins types of years. Jim Meeker certainly was a fantastic coach here, took us to a playoff in 1980, had a good year in 81. But, it starts with our offensive line. And I think that's always been the emphasis. My offensive line coach was Jeff Bolton. He played for the old man at Napoleon. They were brutal. He was a great offensive line coach. We've got a great offensive. We got Nick Miller. We got Paul Amstutz. These guys are phenomenal. Nick Miller is a phenomenal offensive line coach, and he gets these guys ready to play. You're at practice a lot, Spike. You watch this offensive line work. Landon Bockelman, just plays his tail off. Seth Navarre, Stephen Brogan. I mean, you go down the line. Tyler Lay. I mean, you just got Hunter Spangler. I mean, you just keep going down the line of these players. Clayton Seal. These are fantastic players. I mean, the guys don't get the statistics of the glory. They are just road graders, Spike.
You look at all these interior linemen, both sides of the ball. Clayton Seal, the center.
He's been fabulous all year long.
He came in as that quiet, meek little young man, and now he's cocky. He's tough. He doesn't come up and slap you in the face, but he looks at you and you know where he's going.
He does, and it's the same thing with Stephen Brogan. It's the same thing with Tyler Lay. These guys just play a rugged, rough brand of football, and I think that's what we're going to bring tonight against Huron.
Spangler, too. You watched him come in as a sophomore. Still a little baby-faced and still a little kind of getting used to it. Boy, he toughened up. Now he's a different animal. And Xander Zeider's been great.
We don't talk enough about the tight end, Brooks Bainfield, either. He's a physical blocker who made a really nice catch last week got down the sideline. So Brooks Bainfield, who may not be like this pass-catching tight end and like having a tackle that's athletic enough to go out and catch the ball, he's a fantastic blocker. Yep. Our offensive line has gotten it done every week.
And also this week, let me say, the team itself, I mean, the coaches are pushing for the mental aspect, but the guys have even toughened it up a little more this week. They brought it together. Guys like Bachman, guys like Chambers are speaking up and saying, hey, that's it, cut it. No talking. We're going back.
All business.
Yes.
All business.
All week long, all of a sudden, it's leadership. Senior leadership.
All right. Well, let's going to wrap it up for the Swanton Welding pregame show. Thanks to Norm Zeider and the guys over at Swanton Welding for everything they do for us. And we're just about ready for the alma mater and the national anthem. And we'll be back right after this.
The Liberty Center local schools have a rich tradition in academics, athletics, and arts. Honor our students, past and present. Please rise for the performance of our alma mater, Dear Liberty, conducted by band director Mr. Lynn Levin. Our honor guards tonight, composed of members of the local VFW Post 6596 and American Legion 492. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country with freedoms like no other. To honor our great nation, please remain standing. Move your hats. Sing along as the Liberty Center Tiger Band plays our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
All right, we're back here getting ready for kickoff from Rexlinger Stadium, Kip Kern Field. Once again, it's the Huron Tigers coming to Liberty Center to take on our Liberty Center Tigers. And Liberty Center, or Huron won the toss. They deferred. Liberty Center will receive the ball. I know we talked a little bit about that off air. And
hold on, here's I'm going to break
okay,
it.
no,
here's
you
my favorite part. Here they come, those swashbuckling men in black. The Liberty Center Tigers pouring their way through the cheerleaders' banner.
What?
I love that sight. And boy, we even got the managers breaking through. You gotta love it.
Yeah. What would
I
it
think we
be
need a
without
defibrillator. Little Spike loves that part. He cut everybody. You guys shut up. I got to call this.
Well, I couldn't see that. I'm blocked by the
All right,
pillar
Mark,
today.
now take over.
No, that's okay. Liberty Center will have the ball first here. And talk a little bit about the wind. I tell you what, if I'm a passing team, and Jiggs and I were laughing about this earlier. I always say, if you can't run in November, you're in trouble. And tonight, the wind about 35 miles an hour. If I'm a spread team, I was telling my wife today, we were talking about this, and I said, if I ran a spread offense, I'm having somebody that's my weather coach. You're in charge of weather. You let me know how it's going to be wet, if the wind's going to blow, whatever. So it might be tough to pass tonight, guys.
I think that I think this coaching staff has a good handle on which side of the ball they want to challenge Liberty Center on, and Liberty Center will start on offense, and I'll tell you what, that's just fine for Casey Moeller, Brian. I think he feels really good about establishing the line of scrimmage early. I think, the wind is moving from east to west. You're seeing the flag pretty stiff in the west end zone tonight. I don't really think that matters as much to Liberty as it does to Huron.
Come on, Huron's got their own banners busting through.
And Huron, again, I told you guys, these guys are ready to play. They got the flag guy out there ready to roll. This is a team that's got confident, but back to Liberty Center. I think Casey likes the opportunity. I think he would defer because I think he trusts his defense, and why wouldn't you when teams are scoring less than 6 points a game? But offensively, I think Liberty Center can set a tone very early on the first drive.
Yeah, this offensive line has been dominant early and often in just about every game. I think Wassian was probably the last test that we saw in those first couple possessions here. So interested to see how we come out here. But, yeah, I think our offensive line is going to do just fine tonight.
Well, Spike, we haven't been tested that much this season, and that's not really, a criticism of the teams we've played. I just think, and I think you would agree, Liberty Center, this football team right now, is playing with an edge and a momentum that we haven't seen around here in a while. Last season we had the same thing. Regular season, obviously there was some games we got tested in, but this season Liberty has not been tested very much. As to Brian just said, and I think he's been right, that Wassian, those first 3 series, that was a nice little football game for a while, but Liberty eventually won the battle of the hitting, and I think that's what's going to happen here very early tonight.
I definitely agree. But like we've been talking, this is playoff football. A turnover in the wrong place, a big play, and all of a sudden you can be down 3 touchdowns. There is nothing guaranteed here. 1 out of every 7 playoff games so far has been won by the underdog.
There you go. And also, please note on defense, you're going to see a really good inside linebacker in Donnie Hartley, a 6'3", 220-pound senior. He is another experienced player, a really nice-looking athlete, good size, likes to hit. So Liberty will go up against some players that are experienced, talented with good size.
Back deep, and that kick goes into the end zone. Yeah, we failed to mention that, but they have a very strong kicker. And it's not uncommon for him also to kick into the end zone.
Well, number 16 junior kicker Cam Manor, we've had top-end kicking, but we're going to see a kicker tonight that can win a game from 50 yards, Brian. That's legitimate.
He's got a big leg. Well, for the first time in a couple weeks here, we're starting at the 20. Normally we have a little bit better field position, 25-30, so
that's what a good kicker will do.
We started at 20.
All right, Aiden Talent spread out wide over here. Tigers with double wing set. Amstutz under center. Now motion this way. They're going to give it straight up the middle. Running room there up the middle. Makes a cut left. The cut's right. And pounds his way forward up to the 34.
And there it is. Trent Cruz running that 0-1 trap. But I'm telling you right now, that's been good all year, Brian. Clayton Seal in there, and the guards just really making it work. Number 51, Tyler Lay. And you've got, we talked about Clayton Seal having a great year. So Liberty's guards and centers have been just fantastic, and you saw that right off the tip.
Big hole.
All right, Bachman the left tackle, Navarre the right tackle. We'll get to more. Now Amstutz out of the gun, deep motion from the wing. We've got a motion, and they're going to blow the play dead. Somebody moved before the snap, and so now Liberty will be faced with a 1st and 15.
Well, and don't forget about all-league player Seth Navarre. When you've got those kind of players at guards and centers, I would just argue that is as good of a center-guard combination you're going to see all season long in Division 5.
Yep.
All right, Colton Cruz comes off. Trent Cruz goes into the lineup. He'll have Rentz, I believe, in the backfield with him. All right, out of the gun. Looks, quick out, dive for the ball, and I believe it looked incomplete. Up and around the 35. That'll bring up 2nd down and 15 for the Tigers.
Now, Casey is not a fan of first down penalties that put you behind the chains, and that's one thing Liberty Center has been outstanding in. They have been ahead of the chains all year long, controlling the line of scrimmage and getting themselves in 2nd and short, 3rd and short, and converting first downs on drives.
Chambers and Landon Cruz spread out wide to the far side. Double setback with Amstutz out of the gun. Give to the second back.
Nice cut.
Good Cruz cut to
another
the outside.
Good cut.
Makes another cut. Tries
good
to
tackle.
break a tackle. Gets back to the 5 yards on the penalty, bringing up 3rd down.
Looks like number 9, Owen Cantu, brought him down. That looked like it could develop into a big-time play, but got back to the original line of scrimmage, but there's that procedure penalty that puts you behind the chains. Now you're in 3rd and long, something Liberty Center has not spent a lot of time doing this season.
Looks like Huron's mixing their fronts up here. I've seen a 4 and 5-man front, kind of got a linebacker that's coming to the line and dropping back, so we'll see what they do up front here.
Show tight end left, wing left, and a double wide out over here. He's going to roll hard this way. Amstutz looking upfield, fires, caught! What a grab! That's going to be up the 47-yard line. Gain of 12, and it's a Tiger first down.
Really nice, easy, patient roll by quarterback Landon Amstutz. Delivers a really good ball. Nice catch by Landon Cruz, too. Went down, just got underneath it, maybe a little bit underthrown, but moving the chains. Excellent completion early in this game, Spike. If we can throw the football like that and mix run and pass, we're going to be very effective.
Great job to know where the sticks were there for Landon Cruz.
All right, Talent and Chambers spread out wide over there. Double wing set. Amstutz by himself. Now motion. They'll give it to Colton Cruz. Looks to the sweep outside.
Here we go. Nice cut. Back
Big
inside. Here we go. Here we go. Adios, amigos.
Down the sideline at the 10.
Whoa.
He's into the end zone. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown. Colton Cruz.
I'm going to tell you one thing right now. You had Stephen Brogan and you had number 70, Seth Navarre, leading that touchdown, picked up big-time blocks, and you get number 2, Colton Cruz, man, in the open space, you're done. Oh, great block there.
Watch his cutback.
Nice cut, but I think the key block there was by number 63, Stephen Brogan, who has been fantastic all year long. And, Brian, you get number 2, Colton Cruz, in the open field.
Yeah,
good
vision,
luck, man.
Cutbacks. He is dangerous.
It's up. It's good. Ian Rosebrock pounds in another. Ian, let's see here. We've got his stats.
What is the latest
Ian,
number on that guy's kicking this year,
Ian
Spike?
right now, coming into the game, was 68 out of 74, 92%. He pounds this
His
thing
left
through.
leg is 17 inches around, and his right leg is 34. So
The ligaments in that right leg have grown tremendously. I will tell you, I think their guard play right off the tip.
Yep.
0-1 trap, Stephen Brogan, Seth Navarre, boom, and then all of a sudden you get yourself outside. You get both those guys pulling, leading through. Great lead block by number 63, Stephen
Hey.
Brogan. Our guys, fantastic.
I got to give a shout out to Cam Foster. He just graduated from Marine Corps boot camp, and he's watching in South Carolina right now.
All right.
Hoorah!
Yeah, the Fosters are a bunch of bad
Yeah,
dudes,
he's
a
a
bunch
big
of
hitter.
Marines.
Yep.
There's a young Foster.
Well, he's
coming.
good. Mark him down. He's maybe the baddest of all the Fosters, too.
Hey, when it comes to shout-outs, Ralph Krieger,
Oh.
100 years old, listening.
Ralph.
Long-time Liberty Center resident, listening in tonight. Also, we've got Grandma Jean Kern, the queen of Liberty Center Tiger football fans. Also, the GOAT fan, greatest of all time, Kent Michael Spies.
Cat dog.
Yep.
Kent dog.
Just a quick Ronnie Yelling down in Georgia. He's battling a diseased pinochle.
That sounds like a disease itself. Is it a disease pinochle or is pinochle the disease? Yikes.
All right, enough of that tomfoolery. Here's the kickoff. Low line drive. Hits it to 15. Bounces twice. Scooped up at the 10. Return right. Makes a cut against the grain. Slips through another. And finally,
fumble. That ball got
fumble
loose.
down. I think they recover. I think Huron fell on the ball at the 33. But they caught a seam there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew Delaney, we talked about him in the pregame. That's a 6'2", 225-pound senior, and you saw him get going.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. A guy that size gets moving. He looks like the Nigerian Nightmare. Remember him?
You better break down on that guy.
All right, so the Huron Tigers come out. They're dressed in all white. Liberty Center in all black. Huron with red helmets. Quarterback out of the gun.
Four
Got a
wide
double
receivers.
wide out either side. Motion back to the ball. Takes the snap. Hand right. Looks for running room. Pounds forward and picks up about 3 on the play.
I really like the way Andrew Delaney runs, Brian. Shoulders square.
Yeah.
He gets to top speed pretty quick. He's not a lumbering speed guy. He gets
he's
right
not.
to it.
Yeah, he's got some pretty quick feet in there, and I don't think he's going to do a lot of juking
No.
inside the hole. He wants to get downhill.
A to B.
Yep,
All right.
he's a good runner.
2nd down and 6 coming. Ball at the 37, their own 37-yard line. Wide outs either way. Motion back to the quarterback. Rolls. Looks upfield. That throws it short.
Pressure.
A lot of pressure. Let's see. We had
It's going to be Landon
Bachman.
Bachman,
Trent
and you're going to
Cruz.
get Trent Cruz, and those guys just got up in his grill very quick in that sequence, and Cody Scroggins looked a little uncomfortable on the back pedal, not an accurate throw, and that's what pressure does for you. We've got great defensive backs, Spike, but our pressure has been a big part of our
Yeah,
coverage.
Bo Harkleroad, 2 plays there in a row, got him in motion. That's what they're going to look to do with him, get him in motion, kind of change some coverages on him. Good job, Landon Cruz, stay up over the top on him.
all right.
7 cut there.
3rd down and 6 now. No motion to the other side. Play action. Drops back. Throws a bullet
That's a
up
good-looking
there. and
throw
that's
right
gonna be
there.
Caught. What a grab up there at around the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Huron Tigers.
Jackson McNulty, a 6'4", 190-pound wide receiver, caught that with his hands.
Yep.
That ball was just absolutely stroked by Cody Scroggins.
Yes.
So that was a good-looking throw to the sidelines right there.
I come back to the ball. That was a great route, great throw, and an a 1st and 10. All right, ball's at the 45-yard line now, their own 45. Huron. 2 setbacks. Trip receivers. Give to the second back off the right side. Pounds into the Tiger line. Not much
There
there.
you go.
Maybe only about a yard and a half.
Bachman.
Bachman's playing right tackle, Brian, and gets absolutely lateral and then stops that play and drags.
Paul tied him and just threw him back, didn't he?
Drags number 15, Andrew Delaney, who's a big, strong, physical guy, and kind of threw him down like a rag doll right there.
It's a
They
strong
still
man.
give him 3 on the play. That first surge must have got him that extra yard. Nevertheless, second down now and 7. Double wide out to either side out of the gun. Now motion again to the quarterback and beyond. Now rolling hard to his left. Throws the home run ball.
Got
a
him.
man out there. Overthrown.
Had a little step there on Cam. That was a great job for Cam to get back. He did get back within there, kind of got a hand, and good job of recovering there for Cam Colley.
Dawson Bowen, a 6 foot, 190-pound senior, straight down the numbers.
Some of that speed we're talking about. I mean, these receivers, they are very athletic on the outside. 14's good player, number 3, number 5. So
now
they can spread you around.
That is a low percentage pass, but the dividends are huge.
Well, I think that they're basically sending a message here. We think we've got a matchup on the perimeter. We're going to get after you. So.
All right, well, good lesson for Liberty Center to be aware of now. So third down, we'll call it 7 to go. Back to throw. We've got a flag on the play. Home run ball again. Got a man out there. Tripped. Slipped and dipped. Went to the turf. Falls incomplete, but a flag thrown right at the snap of the ball.
Maybe a procedure penalty against Huron. I'm here to tell you, Jackson McNulty, a 6'4" junior, he is a matchup nightmare. He's a big dude, and they've targeted him a few times.
So now the penalty, I'm not sure what it was.
Illegal shift.
A shift, okay. Tigers. When I say Tigers, it's Liberty. When I say Huron, it's Huron. And it's the only thing I can do.
Are you having the Holgate Liberty Center matchup disease spike?
Thing. Yeah, I'm still having that. All right, so the Tigers hurry in the punt return team, 4th and 7. And back to punt from their 47. High spiral kick, fair catch called for at the 15-yard line. Boy, that ball
might have had some English on it, huh?
Wind.
Yes.
Cam Colley did a good job of wrangling that punt it was against the wind, and that ball will knuckle on you a little bit. But Brian, kind of impressed with this Huron team on that first few snaps. They run the football fairly well. They've got and they got a lot of seniors. I keep saying seniors, but I think that experience matters.
I think one thing that stood out is just their speed. I mean, on the outsides, they're fast. They're fast at running back. The quarterback's got a big arm. I mean, he threw that one in the air, probably 40, 45 there. So
against the wind.
Yeah, they got some players on offense.
And they punted 40 yards into the wind. So this is a team the Liberty Center's going to have to get figured out. All right, Chambers motions to the opposite side. Amstutz out of the gun. Single setback, gives it to Trenton. Trenton around that left side looking for running room. Dodges forward, dives for maybe a couple. Good pursuit by the Huron Tigers.
Like to run that ball off tackle, and Huron's got a pretty stout defensive line. Now, last week, Otsego had great success last week in the first half, ran for 244 yards.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that was Genoa that ran for 244 in the first half. So there's vulnerability there in their front. Good play by Huron.
Liberty Center going with a tight end type of offense here. Give straight ahead, first guy through. A quick dive, gets up across the 20 to the 22, gain of 4. And we're looking at 3rd and 3 for the Tigers.
Talking to Casey about how he put together his game plan game to game, he scripts plays. And what that really means is he's got 10 to 16 plays that he's going to run to see how the defense responds, and that sets him up for the next set of plays. So Casey, very much into preparation. I think we're still into that scripted mode right now and see where those vulnerabilities are with Huron.
All right, now Colton Cruz moves over to the left side of the offense in the backfield, landing out wide over here. They're going to give it to Colton. No. Wow.
Liberty Center here. Oh, it's going to be offsides against Huron.
It's a big call there.
Ooh, I didn't see it. Somebody on the interior
yes.
Jump? Uh-oh, captain's got it on the right side. Somebody jumped.
Well, that flag was thrown early. Maybe lined up in the neutral zone. Well, I will tell you, as well as Liberty Center runs the football, I'm telling you, you're, as a defensive lineman, you are pre-snapping that thing with a lot of adrenaline.
All right, after the 5-yard walk-off, Liberty Center has a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Landon Cruz out wide over here. Now the Tigers do that double shift. They go to a power right formation with Chambers, the wingback. Now it's that same
block.
pitch to Cruz.
Here we
Cruz puts his head down, barrels forward, up to the 35-yard line. Gain of 8 on the first down.
You're seeing Seth Navarre, very, very athletic guard, getting out and leading a lot of these plays. I'll tell you, Seth has had just a fantastic year, but the last 2 or 3 weeks, Brian,
he's turning it on.
He's been at
another
the
level,
top of his game.
Yep.
It's a two-way street. Obviously, you've got to have the offensive line get that great push. But Coach Moeller says, I don't want 4 or 5 yards. I want 8 or 10. The running backs also have to do their part. We saw it right there with Cruz. All right, Colton in motion, play action, back to throw.
Nice
Got
throw.
a man out
Nice
there.
catch.
Caught. Chambers up near the 50-yard line, takes on 3 tacklers and battles his way
play.
up to midfield, a 15-yard gain and a first down.
Really nice catch by number 24, senior Colton Chambers. Just doesn't drop many passes, but I really like the ball handling by Landon Amstutz.
He's got that little pause.
Just a little
Just
pause.
kind of pause.
He really sells
Freezes
the play.
the linebackers.
Yes.
Yep.
He ought to be an auctioneer.
He ought to be a magician. I tell you what, just a great job right there. He's got a career as like a guy that could do all kinds of magician work, maybe in Las Vegas.
He can bowl it too, right? So
he's a good bowler, got good hands.
Bainfeld shifts over to the other tight end side. Now motion coming back this way. They're going to give it
Delayed
straight
handoff.
ahead.
Ooh, good
What
run.
a strong run.
Ooh.
And wiggles and piggles and jiggles his way down inside the 45 to the 43. Pick up a 7 on the play.
Trent Cruz is just a physical inside runner, and you know, we talk about how angry and how ferocious these guys run, and we're really good at inside run. That's something this team has done well for generations.
Here comes the goose.
I'd say the goose is checked in.
right.
Good job by Trent Cruz on the inside run for about 7.5 yards.
All right, they've got Landon Cruz and Aiden Talent spread out wide to the Huron side of the field.
A lot of
Wide
spread
out over here
formations
is
tonight.
Chambers with a single setback, tight end right. They're going to give it no play
Nice
action.
looking,
Right over
nice
the middle,
job.
wide open there. That is Bainfeld, I think.
Brooks Bainfeld.
Yep, tight end did a little down, cut into the middle quick. Bingo, right on the money.
That might have been a check down.
Yeah.
Because nobody covered him, and Amstutz saw
that
that.
or something that they saw pre-snap and called up.
And I think that the shifts and the pre-snap resets have been a big part of seeing where Huron wants to line up.
And
That was
Huron's
wide
not
open.
really shifting with a lot of those when we're flipping formations. They're not shifting very much. So
Well,
you're right. I think you're right there.
Brooks
All right,
Bainfeld
pick up
wide
the 12.
open.
Yeah.
Now the ball at the Huron 31-yard line. All by himself. Now motion back to the ball. They fake it. Now rolls. Bootleg left. Looks. Fires upfield. Just overthrown.
You know, they really trust Landon Amstutz when you're going to roll him away from his arm. I mean, he's a right-handed thrower, and they're going to roll him opposite. Had he gotten more square there, he kind of threw that very athletically, maybe kind of not completely square to his target because Colton Cruz was open on the hash there. But again, I really like the trust in Landon Amstutz. He handles the ball well, got outside the pocket, gave him some time, and would like to see him square his shoulders. But that was a good looking play call by Casey.
They work on that. Him rolling to his opposite side. They work on that a lot. All right. Here's the snap. Give to the second back.
Rentz,
That's
good
Rentz.
job.
Rentz for 5.
Boom.
Rentz for 10. And he's got close to a Tiger first down inside the 25-yard line.
Look at that backside blocking by Landon Bockelman, front side blocking by number 70. We keep saying his name over and over again, Seth Navarre, and tell you the running back's running hard. I love bringing number 19, Waylon Rentz, in the game. He's fresh and runs hard.
Are we on the campaign train already?
Not yet. I'll tell you, I have
Taking
been
notes.
impressed. Seth Navarre has just jumped out. Everybody's
You've
playing
said
great,
his
but he's
name a
been great.
lot in the last couple of weeks.
I apologize for that, but he's
Bainfeld and Weaverman
deserved.
there is the 2 tight ends. Chambers wing left, give to the second back. That's Colton. Trenton finds
look at him
nobody
run hard.
there.
Running
Touches
hard.
shoulder,
There was nothing
bangs
there.
forward, bounds forward, picks up 4 yards. That's a Tiger first down on a great second effort.
That's called BYOB, Spike. Be your own blocker. Sometimes you get outnumbered, and Huron did a great job. But you know what? Our guys just don't go down.
That's right.
You're going to have to wrestle them and beat them down. I'll tell you what, you cannot beat a guy that doesn't quit, and that's why those Cruz boys are so vicious.
All right.
They just don't quit running the football. They will not stop.
All right, now Landon and Aiden Talent both into the lineup. They'll line up wide out to either side.
Hunter Spangler at right tackle.
Wing left set with 2 tight ends. Give to the second back. Colton
Nice
Cruz
cut.
cuts
Big
off
hole.
the left.
Here we go.
Now
Another
cuts
nice
back to
cut.
the right. Bangs through two, three
dragging
tacklers.
guys.
Still pounds
Dragging
forward.
guys.
Driving down.
Oh,
He's
my
inside
goodness.
the 5. Still going. Still
Wow.
driving. Down to about the 3-yard line. A
very
gain of 15.
nice.
Whoosha, boosha, baby.
I love the beginning of that run, but I love the end of that run. He was dragging 8, 9 guys, his own dudes he was dragging. They were pushing, but he was dragging. Fantastic job.
Stephen Brogan with a great block. Seth Navarre as well. Big hole initially there, then just some will at the end there. What a great run.
You've got 2 great tackles. Now you throw a offensive tight end on either side. Wow, that's illegal. All right, from the 3, here we go. Give to the second back, driving forward, dives down to about the 1.
And these are the body blows and the gut punches that Liberty Center does. I mean, they'll take the 2 and 3 yards if they can just take another pound of flesh. And this offensive line loves blocking man on man, and we run in a triple I there. We got a fullback, a halfback, and a tailback, and just ready to go downhill. I love that kind of running, Spike.
Oh, yeah. All right, they did another power set. So now, second and goal at the 1-yard line. They're going to line up with Zeider in the lead back in the I formation. Watch the third back. It is.
Oh, nice block
it's
by
Colton
Zeider.
Cruz dives over the right side, and he's in for the touchdown. Liberty Center scores again. They go up 13-0. What power.
Tell you what, give Zeider a lot of credit there. Xander did a good job coming from that short fullback position. But again, Huron put up a fight there on the goal line. It was a good goal line stand, but Liberty Center just too much on the goal line there.
All right, Spangler, the snapper. Amstutz, the holder. And, of course, Rosebrook. Kick, line drive, straight down the middle, clear all the way back to the fence. And at the 49-second mark of the first period, Liberty Center goes on top. 2 scores. They lead it 14-0.
Hey, I got a couple quick scoring updates. Coldwater scores in the first quarter. They're up 7-0. Just had the Patrick Henry score. I think they might be down 7-0 at the end of 1. And we'll try to keep you updated. Colonel Crawford over Ottawa Hills, 7-0. And where's the other one? I just saw that I was going to. Oh, Macomb over Eden. I know we got some listeners from out at Eden. Yeah, Patrick Henry 0, Arlington 7, end of 1.
Yeah, Eden was one of those teams that was a low seed.
Yeah,
and they had
well,
a big upset.
And in our bracket, Highland. The Scots, Highland Scots, beat Liberty Benton last week, and Highland was a 12 seed. Benton was a 5 seed. Yeah. They're actually playing Oak Harbor tonight to see who plays the winner of this game.
So we play the winner of Oak Harbor
and Highland.
Highland Scots, okay.
The Highland Scots.
All right, so now.
Nope, Archibald just scored to tie it up.
Here's the kickoff. High end over end. Comes down at the 5-yard line. The closest hash. Return straight up the middle. A dive in there. Slowed him down. Was that Rentz maybe that got his hands and slowed him down? Down around the ankles. I believe that was Rentz got the first hit.
Waylon
great
Rentz.
coverage.
Waylon Rentz has been excellent on that R2 or R2 or 3, L2 or 3. Those are the guys that are on just 1 or 2 spots right or left of the kicker, and those guys are the bone crushers and wall breakers. Waylon Rentz, a fantastic cover guy and a great linebacker.
All right, so 43 seconds remain in this first quarter. Now Huron with another opportunity here. They're going to want to put something up here. They're going to want to strike quick. Double wide out to either side. They give it to the running back off that right side. He'll drive forward, get up close to the 25-yard line, so a gain of 5, maybe 6 on the play.
Chambers and Xander Zeider, I believe, on that tackle.
They're going to run some Andrew Delaney tonight, guys.
Man,
he's a good-looking running back.
Yeah,
he is quick.
Runner.
He is a big physical runner. Did a good job of getting his shoulder square to pick up 6 there against Liberty's defense.
6'2", 225. That's a little bit
legit.
bigger than our fullback from last year, Matt Orr.
Matt Orr was a fantastic fullback for us last year. We just keep producing fullbacks around here, don't we?
Oh, man. All right, that'll end the first quarter. Liberty Center on top, 14-0. Second down and 4 for Huron when we come back.
All right, we'll take a break and hear from our sponsors.
A huge thank you to our 2023-2024 Tigers Sport Life sponsors, KK Collision, Meyer Badenhoff Insurance, STN Design, Affinity IT Group, 3Chord, Davis Farm Services, Swanton Welding, Hammond Dick Leatherman, Pisanello's Pizza, and Gerald Grain Centers.
All right, we're back here. Start of the second quarter. A couple scores. Archbold scored with about 1 minute left in the first quarter. Kicked off, and Coldwater ran the kickoff back.
Whoa.
Wow.
So 14-7 Coldwater at the end of one.
That's a big-time matchup, Coldwater and Archbold, and two of the top teams in this Region 18, and so kind of anxious to see. That's going to be a dogfight and a very close game all the way to the end, Brian.
All right, hey, let's get another shout-out to Digger and the cross-country girls, the Lady Tigers down there near Columbus for the state cross-country meet.
Yeah, I think it's like 17 things in a row or something like that.
All right, handoff off the left side, second
Ooh,
back
nice
through,
play.
power through it, big
Yes,
goal.
sir.
Smackarito. That's
Cruz.
Colton Cruz, I believe.
Yes.
That's just a great read. Got to the point of attack, and just an absolute perfect tackle. And that's just what you talked about, Brian, in the pregame, the Swanton Welding pregame. Not only can our guys hit and tackle, but their reads, their pre-snap reads, their key reads. I mean, their run fits are just on point, man.
Noah Jensen comes into the game for Liberty Center.
Zero technique over the center, and he is a difficult guy to move in there.
All right. Bachelman will line up as an outside tackle. Now play action, throws it out there, and led too far. Good
Pressure.
Big time quarterback
Cruz
hit.
and
Landon
Bachelman.
He's been active.
Thank you, Captain. I didn't have to work too hard to figure that one out.
Huron's trying to block Landon with one dude, and that's just a big mistake, and it's just not giving them enough time. I mean,
he was open. He had him probably the first down there if he could have stayed in a couple more seconds.
Cody Scroggins is a good-looking quarterback, but when you don't have any time and you got that guy bearing down on you, that guy goes bear hunting with a switch.
All right, they got Tyler Lay, and they got their speed rush in there now on the punt formation. Gets it off, a line drive.
Ooh,
that's going to
I don't
go
like
over
that.
our head, take a tremendous
I don't like
roll.
that.
And that's going to wind up all the way back
a
inside
flag
the
here.
25, down to the 20-yard
Sideline
line.
Sideline warning, maybe. I will tell you, Spike, Casey Moeller does not like people not catching balls. You take a look at Casey, maybe you can't see him shaking his head. Not what he wants to see.
Those punts have been tough tonight. We've saw
Knuckled up.
a couple of them. They're moving around a little bit with this wind.
Oh, when you got two guys back there, Spike, there's an expectation to minimally catch the ball, and we lost another 18 to 22 yards in a roll there.
We may have lined up a bit too close. I don't know, but they did have the wind at the back.
Maybe that took us out of our strike zone.
Yeah, 56 yards with the bounce, but still about 40 or 45 regardless. So 11 minutes left here, second quarter. Liberty Center will get the ball, but much further back than what they've were anticipating. Their third time starting a drive at their own 20. All right, under center. Give to the first back. Not much there. Huron was waiting for that, and they snuffed it out right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Paul Maloney, middle linebacker, just stuck it right in the zero hole, and nice read by their linebacker. Tell you what, those 0-1 traps have been there, but nice adjustment, nice tackle by Paul Maloney, a junior in there.
Isn't that the nuance of the game? I mean, sooner or later, they're going to catch on to it. They're going to stop that trap up the middle. So what do we come back with? All right, Amstutz under center. Gives Trent Cruz coming around that side, makes a great cut up inside, but the defensive line stays there. Great fill. Let's see.
Chop block.
That was
a late. That was going to be a chop block below the waist.
Donnie Hartley, I think.
Going to be a block below the waist, I think, at Liberty. It was a late kind of flag, too.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, we had something going out there. I thought Colton Chambers, number 24, put on a good block from the wing.
Holding call against Liberty.
All right, now it's going to be pushed back. Liberty looking at a 2nd and 15 now.
And these are not down in distances that Casey Moeller likes to dial stuff against the wind as well. So I'll be anxious to see in the next 2 plays, can we get this thing to the chain, Spike?
All right, that's going to make it, after the end result, 2nd and 17 now. 2nd down. Here we go. One wide out. They're going to give it a quick
straight dive. Here we go. Uh-oh.
Ooh,
boy. Ooh, boy. Yes, sir.
His way forward, and that's going to be a Liberty Center Tiger first down.
Well, I think Huron's starting to kind of take some chances on the blitz, and they've guessed wrong hole. I think they were playing to the field, or I think that they call that strength there. You saw that blitz coming from the field, and Liberty hit that a very, very quick inside run.
Into that slick
dive play.
That's what them dives do to you, man. If you guess wrong in a dive, it can go to the house.
Well, there's your first down.
24 yards on that gallop, and a great cut after the fact. He got 4 yards deep, made a great cut to the right, opened it up. All right. Colton Cruz takes the handoff.
Good-looking block right there.
Spins past the tackle, and they're going to hold him down, and he still pounds forward for an extra yard. What an effort! 2nd and 3rd effort.
Colton Cruz, his brother Trent Cruz, these guys, Waylon Rentz, you might think you have them for a no gain or a tackle for loss. Those guys won't give up. They got that was 2.5 yards right there were just great effort.
The one defensive back from Huron took on Bockelman.
Bad move.
And didn't fare well.
Bad choices. You got to make choices in life, and that was a bad one.
Colton Cruz just stole 3 extra yards, making it 2nd down and 5. Now motion to the short side.
There we go. I like that right there.
A lot of running room there to Trent Cruz.
Boy.
Picks past one.
A lot of grabbing going on now.
Prancing, bingo, baby.
Better bring your legs
down to the 36-yard line.
Better bring it all to that guy.
Yards.
Wow. I'm telling you, Trenton Cruz, Colton gets a lot of press because of all the production, but I'm telling you, Trenton Cruz inside the tackles, he is nasty. Yeah. He runs just angry in there, and he's hard to bring down.
3-4 arm tickles.
They are the founding members of the coalition.
The Cruz Coalition. Well, you just admire when you can go 2nd and 17, run a dive for a first down. Thank you very much, Liberty Center offensive line and those running backs.
8.5 minutes to go, 2nd quarter, ball on the Huron 36. Play action, drops back, pressured, has to scramble left. Amstutz looking for a going.
Good
He's
job.
got an angle, gets inside the 30, and goes right on out of bounds.
That's a flag. Number 15 hit him late, no doubt about it. Andrew Delaney, I think that was unnecessary. He kind of slid, and he did hit him late. It is what it is.
I think that was unfortunate. I think he was just chasing the play and slid.
I don't know. I don't know about that, guys. I've watched him. He's a great player. I've watched him all night. He's given a little extra sauce post whistle, and I think that was unnecessary. And you do not need an injury to our quarterback, Landon Amstutz.
Well, I know how, Scott, you cringe when Amstutz takes off out of the pocket.
Well, I'm just saying, get out of bounds, man. We've got quarterbacks that can play, but Landon Amstutz just gives us a different dimension back there. He's another coach on the field, and we do not need him running a lot of footballs. And I tease Casey about that a lot on Wednesdays, like, hey, man, let number 12 get himself out of bounds or hand the football off.
6-yard gain turned into 22 with a penalty. So now 1st and 10 for Liberty Center on the Huron 14-yard line. Double wing package, wide out to the right. Now motion back to the ball. They're going to pitch to the motion man. Looks for a hole. Nothing there. Huron closed the gap. No gain on the play.
Yeah, good job. Good support, run support by their defensive backs. Really impressed the way they run to the ball. Nick Llewellyn did a good job right there, and you had number 4, Paul Maloney. They've got playmakers on defense. Their
linebackers are flying around a little bit.
They are. Now, I would say to you that they're starting to take some chances because Liberty's running game is really beginning to take over here. But that's their second-level guys want to hit, and they're playing some football.
All right. No gains. 2nd down and 10. Liberty shows the same double wing package. Now Cruz in motion. They're going to give it to Trenton off the right side.
I like
Makes
that, belly down. He will finish that run.
Takes his head down. Pours inside.
Finish it, big boy.
He's into the end zone. It's another Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what.
Get a replay on that.
I want to see that again. That was some nice-looking blocking. Nice-looking running play. Well executed up front. Here we go. Let's see what that looks like.
Wow. Whoa.
Motion man. Ooh, little belly down. Ooh, nice cut.
Look at that downfield.
Oh, my goodness. Nice downfield block. Who was that? Shooey Dewey, Liberty Center just blocking everybody in white. Everybody was accounted for, and then you got a guy that you got to tackle. It's like trying to tackle a cactus wrapped in barbed wire. Good Lord, Trenton Cruz. Wow.
The Cruz Coalition, I don't think that would faze them a bit if it were this situation were switched.
And I've had to tackle those kind of dudes, and I know you have, Brian. I'll tell you, it is no fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just those guys, their legs,
Every
their arms.
play,
and
you got to bring it, man.
They are just
Every
pounding
play.
you. Oh, goodness.
This run game is.
Again, you guys both have mentioned it several times, but it's that second and third block that's 8 yards upfield, and all of a sudden the Cruz boys can run their magic, they can work their charms, and they'll twist and cut over, change directions, plant a foot, and it all starts with the downfield block.
I just love the fact that we're blocking downfield, and I love the fact that we're getting second and third efforts on those blocks and those runs.
Yeah.
Our guys just don't stop. Those feet keep running, and our shoulders are square. These guys see the field. I mean, they're not like track champions, Spike, but they've got good speed. Brian talks about their vision, and then they're a vicious finisher at the end of those runs.
Hey, I got a score update, and this is pertinent to us. Oak Harbor 14, Highlands 0. So we will play the winner of that game, and we're gearing up to be there for you, folks.
All right, here's Max Walker, delivers high end over
This will be a
end,
return
comes
here.
down about at the 10-yard line, into the wind.
Got to get him.
Shakes past one, still driving.
Tyler
along.
Lay.
Wow.
And the guy that
Like a
missed
wild
him
man.
Came, who was that? Rex?
Toby Lay. Oh, Tyler Lay.
Tyler Lay.
I think of Toby Lay, but
Yeah.
Tyler Lay to lick. Missed him and then came back to get a little extra.
Like a wild
Get the
animal
dessert.
jumping on
He
the back.
did.
That's that second swab of mustard on that fry.
I mean, he missed the initial opportunity, but he was not going to be denied. I love watching Tyler Lay on special teams, man.
Just
He is on the hunt.
Effort. That's right.
Oh.
He does not break down. Like there was going to be a collision there if he ran into that running back. I'm not sure what was going to happen, but there was going to be a collision.
Noah Jensen in there as middle defensive tackle out of the gun. Give to that back. They run a little fake the play action, and he just pounds it forward for about 3. Right into the Tiger defense.
And Liberty Center, I think Huron's feeling a little furry here, a little not after the whistle, but Huron wants to play physical. They want to match Liberty Center's physicality. I've seen that on a lot of snaps. Give them some credit. They've come to play football tonight. Liberty's up 21-0, Spike, but Huron is laying some licks.
Yeah, this is the first team I think we've seen that can run for positive yardage right into the teeth of our rush defense. All right, flag on the play, and again,
false start Huron and move them back.
We've seen more false starts tonight that blow the play dead before its inception.
Yeah, sometimes false starts are guys wondering what they have to do and just trying to make sure they get their assignment in their head. But false starts are also when you see that defender across from you and he doesn't show you that look that you're used to, you get more focused on the defender and not the snap. And I think that's kind of what I'm seeing out of Huron.
One thing to note, they have not gotten Bo Harkleroad really into this offense yet. I mean, he's their guy. He's what makes this offense go. Have not been able to really connect with him yet.
Yeah, good pressure from the pass rush has been played part of that. All right, out of the gun, play action, tosses it back behind the screen pass.
Hunter Spangler. I love when my defensive ends / defensive tackles get to the boundary and whack somebody and create a turnover. Great job by number 74, Hunter Spangler. Wow.
Well, that was third down in about, 16, 17. Now we're looking at 3rd and 8.
Nice play by Hunter right
Third
there.
and 15 now, 3rd and 8. So the Tigers give up, Liberty gives up about 7 on the play. So now Huron back into a makeable situation, 3rd and 7 from their own 27. Huron, in this case, 5.5 to go, really needs a first down.
Some pressure.
Play action, has
Had time. Here he goes.
He throws the home run ball, and well overthrown.
Great job,
Good
Cammy.
coverage by Liberty Center. Was that
Cam Colley.
Cam Colley, yeah.
Going stride for stride from their playmaker, Bo Harkleroad, Harkleroad, and we've talked about him. He has not gotten going, but they've tried to get vertical early in this game multiple times, and Cody Scroggins can get to those places down the field, but there's an uneasiness in the pocket.
Yep.
He sees that pressure coming, Spike, and he's just not comfortable to hold that ball that extra second.
All right, 4th down punt coming up.
Ooh, nice
Tigers
effort.
put on a vicious rush. That was Zach Weaver, I think.
Yes, it was.
We got a
Waylon
Rentz in the middle of something there with
I can't believe that.
56.
Number 19, Waylon
Don't
Rentz,
we
is an
always say
agitator.
he is always around it, isn't it?
This is going to be the second personal foul against Huron.
I think it's them. I hope.
I do believe it is as well. And if I'm going to wait for this call, but Liberty Center, got a little labeled early in the season. Oh, it's against Liberty Center. Okay.
Push in the back, I think.
Was it push in the back?
Block in the back, yeah.
Well, you saw some extracurriculars post-whistle there, and Liberty is
Oh, wait a minute. They're pointing that way. He's
he's
got to read.
That's the – oh,
okay. It's against Huron.
Yeah, against Huron.
Block in the back.
Well, I'm seeing some physicality post-whistle, and Liberty's had a little bit of a reputation of getting in some of those skedaddles, but Liberty's cleaned it up and tightened it up. And I think this coaching staff has done a great job with
I'm
that.
watching something on the sidelines. You know how running backs will follow the coaches to get in? We've got 6'2", 280-pound linemen trying to follow the line coach wanting in.
All right, wing goes in motion. They're going to run play action.
Nice throw.
Throws a little
Nice
down.
catch.
Now, what a
Good
grab
job.
by Chambers at the 40. Pyle drives and twists and turns his way down near the 30-yard
That's great
line.
patience right there.
Boy, nice looking play.
He just
Doggy.
sat in there. He knew that route was coming. He kind of saw that linebacker. He knew he was going to pass. Waited just in time. Put a really good ball on. Good job, Landon Amstutz.
Like Colton Chambers just snatches
That
it
was a nice
through the
catch,
air.
too.
Great catch by Colton. That guy right there, I'm telling you what, that guy can really catch the football with his hands.
Clayton Seal, being a big gentleman, knocked the nose tackle over, then he helped him
Oh,
out.
that's such a nice guy.
Nice guy.
All right. Tigers with a double wing set. Now motion. Colton Cruz give
Off
off.
tackle. Ooh, nice
Boom,
job.
boom, boom. Trenton spins and twists, takes on a tackler head on, spins again, gets down to the 32.
Nick Llewellyn, number 8, 6-foot junior, laid a lick early in the sequence. But I'll tell you what, you're just not going to bring Trent Cruz down.
Got to wrap with that guy.
And you get him to the ground because you want to hit him. He enjoys that. He invites the hitting.
Pinball.
And he'll just spin off of you and find more yards.
And, guys, you're starting to see the Huron linemen having to be helped up, and they're getting up and putting their hands on their knees. And, Liberty's depth is already starting to come into play here.
This run game demoralizes you.
Wing right set, double wide out to the Liberty side of the field. Give
we
inside.
go. Like this play. Here we
Reverse.
go.
That's a give
Here
now.
we go.
Kicks it to the outside at the 20, at the 15, spins past
Nice
one,
play.
pounds down near the 10-yard line.
Tell you what.
Gain of 16 yards.
I love having Colton Chambers sitting on the wing who can catch a football, who's an outstanding blocker, and really, quite frankly, in a lot of offenses, Spike, in this league, in this region, he could play half or fullback for a lot of teams. I mean, he is a legitimate triple threat weapon.
He's a wing back fullback.
Yes.
That does a fullback
Wide receiver, slot receiver.
He is a Swiss Army knife and can do it all for us.
I like that. All right, wide out to the wide side. Amstutz under center. Amstutz pitch sweep.
Ooh, nice block.
Pancake
Pancake Colton
Now banks
Cruz.
to the tackle into the end zone.
Oh, my
it's a Liberty
goodness.
Center Tiger touchdown again.
Oh, man, I want to see that replay. All eyes on number 2. You want to know what a pancake is? Watch this block by Colton Cruz, lead blocker. Watch him. Here he comes. He lines him up. Boom!
Oh, my. Wow. Tyler Lay down there, too.
Are these replays?
These are the replays right there.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely, Spike.
Oh,
Cole
Big
Ballman
time
running
now,
the board.
bud.
My technician is back Windows 95. That's
Nice. Cole Ballman running the boards tonight.
Good job, Cole.
Wow, he bangs that one all the way back to
man.
the Stevens fence.
That's a bad
Perfect
feeling for a
again.
corner on that play.
28-0.
Huh?
Oh, man. I mean, he's out there sitting doing his job
Wait,
going,
what do I do? I'm going to keep him inside. Then I
Yeah.
got to deal with that guy.
Oh, man. That's a great block. And, listen, that was a great run. This offensive line is just taking this game over like we knew they would. But when you're getting that kind of blocking from your running backs, and they're blocking like guards and tackles, that is physicality at the point of attack. Everybody all in. Good job by Colton Cruz. My goodness, he just blew up that safety.
Guys,
wow.
I'm getting 100 messages on Facebook, whatever. I mean, we've got people watching this in Tennessee, in Cancun, in Florida. we'd love to go to Florida with somebody right now. It's cold. I hate the cold, but just all over the place. Spike, you just draw them all over the world, continents.
Oh, no. Listen, I'm the straight guy out of 3 goons, and then
Straight.
Boom, 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 bombing over
boom,
here.
boom, bombing down there.
Diamond
Freshman,
Dan Kessler back there, mentoring.
DDK.
Boom, boom.
Hey, here's one. Toledo Central Catholic leads Defiance 21-20. Defiance in that game.
Boy, that's
I'm telling you what. That those teams that he's coaching right now at Defiance look a lot like Jerry Beauty. Physicality and nastiness.
All right, high end.
Travis
over end.
Cooper
That's
doing a
gonna
good
take
job
him
at
back
Defiance.
into the end zone.
Oh, he wanted some. He wanted to bring
they're
that
gonna
out.
Rule that a dead one. They didn't like it. Huron, give them credit. They want a battle. They wanted to run that out, and I don't blame them. I don't care what the score is. This is a different team than a lot we've seen this year.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of teams throw in the towel in
Can
the
lay down a little bit.
second quarter, but we saw a few here and there, like an Evergreen, for example. But these guys are battling. They just need, they've thrown the home run ball about 4 times. I'm wondering if they've got time to get that 10 and 12 yards.
I'm a little surprised they haven't threw a little more intermediate passes.
Yeah.
Don't think he has time.
All right, out of the gun. Play action.
Oh,
now
boy,
has to roll
Seth
out there.
Navarre.
Grab him,
Wow.
and it's a Reno.
Oh, man.
Though I didn't get my breath fixtured on that one. Wow. Huffing and puffing.
Well,
I'll blow your house down.
Guys, I'm telling you, Seth Navarre is a first-team All-League, first-team All-District player straight up every day. He is playing at a next level. He just beat his man off the snap and ran that quarterback, Cody Scroggins, down like a
He
dog.
just has no chance back there right now.
Now they just keep running in fresh player after fresh player on that defensive line, and the linebacker out of the gun now tries to find running room, skips through there and was undercut. Great tackle around the ankles. There's some words now being exchanged. Let's see.
Waylon Rentz might have been in the middle of that.
Waylon.
Yeah, Liberty Center now starting to impose their will. Just the physicality, guys. I'm
Time
telling
out,
you,
Liberty Center.
It's like a rerun. We keep talking about the same things. We're in week 12, and Nick Miller today at lunch. You've got to win the battle of the hitting. If you can't win that, it's South Range.
It's fun. Yeah.
They won the battle of the hitting
That's
last
right.
year. We haven't lost one since, man. We have not lost a battle of the hitting since.
Right. Great point.
You watch some of the film on some of these teams before, and that's the one factor you can't really get from the film is the physicality. You watch some of these teams, and they have some success on the ground and passing game, and then you just come into this game, and it's just they can't
When
do
you start
anything. They
feeling,
just can't do anything.
when you start feeling that punch to your mouth, it just becomes very uncomfortable after about 6 or 7 of those, doesn't it, Spike?
Well, this is what amazes me. I'm up here with 3 goons. Jiggs and Bucky and the captain, and I've got Danny Kessler and Boom Bauman, and we're nice guys. We tell it like it is. We're straight up. We're good fellas. We have a great relationship with everybody, and we have to overcome the alpha males up here that dominate this. Wow.
Wow. It's getting rough. We got to take up an offering.
If Digger
here
was
for
here,
Spike.
I'd tell him to shut up.
All right. Long snap, back to throw, rolls out, throws it upfield 20 yards. That's going to be caught up across the 30-yard line.
Good ball.
And that's what Huron needs to lay some confidence in. They throw the ball out there, about 20-yard pickup, and that'll be a 1st and 10.
Guys, Cody Scroggins there threw a bullet about 24 yards down the field.
Still got
3rd
hit.
and 18 inside their
He's got a hose.
15-yard line. He got rolled out to his left and delivered a strike for a first down. It's not often you
He's
see a 3rd and
hobbling a
18
little bit,
converted.
though.
Wow.
He did get
All
hit,
right.
though.
Straight drop, fires it out there. They do go to that short game. They pick up about 5 on the play. Still plenty of time for Huron to move the ball. They've got 3:05 left here in the
And
first
Scott,
half.
we talked about this with Coach Moeller about them having to go to this short, quick release because of the pressure.
Well, they're in their 2-minute offense now
Yeah.
and doing a really good job. I mean, that 3rd and 18 conversion, that was the difference maker because Liberty gets the ball back. They're scoring a touchdown.
We said
right.
we're everybody from everywhere. We have somebody from nowhere, Pennsylvania right now
There you
watching.
go.
Double wide out to either side, out of the gun. They give it to that big back.
Uh-oh.
Dunces
Here he
and
goes.
dances, heads down the sideline. Big gain there. Twists and bangs forward. Down inside the 45 to the 43.
Say, when you get Andrew Delaney with his
19 yards
shoulders
split.
square, and you see him running that hard, Spike, I mean, that is not just a big Division I prospect-looking dude, but that's a fast guy. I mean, he is running hard. Got to the state meet last year in the 100 meters, runs under 11 seconds, and he is a big dude. I mean, that is a lot of man to bring down right there.
All right, Huron challenging our own Liberty Center Tigers here. They've moved the ball from deep in their own territory down to the 43 of the Liberty Center team. Motion coming this way, out of the gun. Play action, good pressure, throws over the middle, nearly picked
stuck.
off by
Bachman
Brent.
again.
This quarterback is just
Now, was he pressured to
He was
He was
pressured.
buried by
pass?
Bachman.
cruising Bachman.
And if you're watching this game, and Spike, a lot of people are watching it, you've got number 6, and he's feeling it. This is going to be a very difficult Saturday morning. I mean, he's going to need some NyQuil. He's going to need some. He's going to need some morphine. He's going to need a hot tub because he is getting whacked.
This is the difference of this pressure. I mean, you give him one more second, he's completing a lot of these balls. He just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He just does not have the
that ball
time.
was well short.
Well,
of his
on the
receiver.
third and 18 conversion, Brian, you were right. We didn't get home on the blitz.
Yep.
All right, trip receivers, motion back to the wide side. They look, either they throw it to the outman, had him open out there. Inside the 40, but incomplete.
That quarterback is hurt,
Yeah,
guys.
he's-
He's coming up limping
taking
and
some
holding
shots.
his side.
Well, I think we've, quarterback hits, quarterback pressures do matter, and they do accumulate, and they do have a tendency to really wear on a guy. That's the body blow. It's the body punch, and Liberty Center will not stop.
Jiggs, you were the quarterback, and Bucky was the kind of guy that would put pressure on you.
Yeah.
Did that bother you as a quarterback?
Well, you take a few to the chest. Yeah. Underneath the face mask, absolutely, Spike. It bothered
and
you.
Barrett would be the kind of guy that
He'd
would
just laugh
stick
at you,
that,
right?
Stick that shoulder in there a little deeper. All right, give inside on a little delay. Not much running room there, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Trying to catch Liberty off guard, but number 70 right there making the play. I believe that was Seth
Bachman
Navarre.
underneath,
Lady
too.
Bachman. I mean, you got guys just making plays at the line of scrimmage. Defensive line, Spike, you talk about it all the time. I love it when you talk about the number of tackles the defensive line has.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Baki
these
and
guys,
Zider.
a lot of tackles.
And then you've got your other starting tackle, Navarre. With his speed, he can run people down.
That's the defensive line, folks. That's not linebackers and defensive backs and snipers. These guys have their hands in the ground.
All right, Huron going for it on 4th and 9. I don't blame them. Now trip receivers after the motion.
better to call
and
a timeout.
They're going to call a timeout, I think, Huron. Yep.
Well, I'm not sure, Spike, that Huron has a choice. I mean, it's 28-0,
Right.
and you do not want to just punt the ball back to Liberty Center. We've shown a little 2-minute offense, and I think Liberty could get down this field and score another touchdown. So I think Huron's doing the right thing there on our side of the 50-yard line, and I think going for it makes a lot of sense for them.
Oh, sure. It's almost an absolute. Have we punted yet?
I don't believe we
I
have
don't
punted.
believe-
We have not
No.
punted.
I believe we've only punted maybe 15 times all year.
You had those punt stats last week. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Through 12 games, you're around that 12 to
let's
13
see.
punt mark. That's not a lot
Yeah.
of punts, Brian.
No. Won a game. That's pretty good.
We Spike, I have 2 messages for you. We won't say who that is, but one of them is from Puerto Rico,
NAFTA. It's always NAFTA.
and the other is from Canada.
NAFTA.
NAFTA.
We got this
You know,
NAFTA crowd. We got Canadians.
You are agile, mobile, versatile, and not senile.
Oh,
Not yet.
We
Not
might
yet.
be pushing our luck there.
Though one more adjective about me and you might have been.
See if Liberty can get home with some pressure here on 4th
All
and
right,
9.
4th and 10, rolling right.
Bachman.
Has a little bit of time, throws it
Oh,
up
my
there, but has to
goodness.
still unload
He's
it.
just wrecking the game.
Bachman again.
Running rough shot. It's
Yeah.
like he's like an old cowboy in the
Look at
Western, just handling people all over the place. Wow, Landon
He should have-
Bachman.
You can't block
He
that
should
guy
have
with one
been a
guy.
cattle rustler. That's
He
what
kind of
He
look what he
is.
does. He's a steerman. He's a
That's
cattleman
right.
himself. Look at that. I mean, he probably handles cattle
He
with
just
one
throws
arm.
them steers around, and
Phew.
he doesn't even need a halter. Just grab him by the neck and just, you're going right here.
I mean, that guy has laid some licks tonight. Landon Bachman
he's
having a big, big night on the
Dominating.
head.
All right, so the Tigers with 1:34. They've got the ball at their own 42. Out of the gun is Amstutz. He'll fire it out there just out of the reach.
Zach Weaver. Zach with the intended receiver.
They did the little tight end down out hard and just missed the target. 28-0 Liberty, 1:19 and a half. Oh, my. Now they go with Colton Cruz back in the lineup with both wideouts, Landon Cruz and Aiden Talent. So it's a passing situation. I imagine Liberty, they work on the 2-minute offense a lot.
I think this is an opportunity.
And this is where they're at.
You got a defensive stop, and I think Liberty has an opportunity to work a sector of their game that they don't get a chance to do very often. We've seen it once or twice. It's been very effective. See if Liberty Center can get this ball in some sort of scoring range. 1 minute, 24 seconds to go.
All right, both wideouts to this side along with Colton Chambers in the slot. Amstutz with one protector rolling. Looks upfield, fires, and throws it away. He had nothing open. Talent was picked up man-to-man down around the 30, and so was Landon Cruz. Tight coverage, no one there, so he just fired it away.
Now Tom Russell, the kicking coach, struggled to corral and bring that ball in, and we're going to have to talk to Tom. He's going to have to get on the catching machine. That was, he's a good kicker, good coach there, but just a very poor job making the catch on the sideline there, Coach.
All right, now 3rd and 10. Liberty Center going with trip receivers to the wide side. One over there, single setback, Colton Cruz. Amstutz drops back, has time now.
Ooh, man, that was a good design, wasn't it?
Little middle screen there.
Good design.
Boy, that was set up pretty awful.
That was going to go for big
45.
yards.
Yes, it was.
Spike, we outnumbered them in the middle of the field. That was a middle screen, kind of an extended middle screen. And we had a lot of dudes out front ready to do some blocking. That could have gone for big yards.
Yeah, that was the old style of Zeider blocking for Seth Atkinson and that middle screen. That was
Seth Atkinson.
Seth was great on that screen, wasn't he?
Man,
he was,
that little
wing,
wing
when you
screen.
got Troy Westhoven out in front of you, it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, well, you can do a lot of things.
Well, Seth Atkinson, I always say pound for pound. That guy was as good as anybody in Liberty Center history. I mean, I'm saying pound for pound.
You remember the catch he made in the playoffs?
Yeah, over his back. He's Apple Creek, Waynedale in the mud. He genuflexed. That was fabulous.
All right, trip receivers over here to the wide side, 2 in the other. Empty backfield. Has a lot of time.
Oh, wow.
Throws it 20 yards upfield, and a great defensive play. Chambers was wide open at the 40, but a last-minute plunge, dive, and reach knocked it away, and that took a first down away from Liberty. That means now 4th down, and Huron holds.
Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I was watching the offensive line given a lot of time, and number 55, Brady Giesge, took his guy on and not only neutralized him and kept him right in front, moved those feet. Great job by the Goose, buying time for Landon Amstutz. Great blocking.
Yes.
Pretty good ball there. Pretty good ball. Just
a little bit late.
Good
maybe.
Defensive. Yeah, good play there by the safety.
All right, punting from the 35. Gets off a wobbler. That's going to hit at the 35. Take a good Liberty roll and finally go out of bounds down around the 20. So that pins Huron back inside the 25-yard line with 1:05 left in the first half.
Well, we got a quick break. We will be covering the Liberty Center Band at halftime here, and it's kind of chilly, but we've got some good warm food for you guys so that, Mail Pouch Saloon with their chicken tortilla soup and Pisanello's with the broccoli cheddar.
Nice.
I'm a soup man. I love that.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for taking care of that. It's one of the things the Liberty Center is we certainly get taken well care of up there.
The food is great.
People show up in the press box just for the food.
All right, Ralph, Grandma Jean, I hope you're enjoying this. This is good stuff.
Here's
all right, back
play.
to throw. Has to just dump it.
Just running for his life.
Boy, the pass rush is just blanketing.
Well, that might have been a little bit more designed. Looked like a little bit more of an extended screen to me. Maybe not, but our guys just jailbreak that, man. What was that?
Well, Waylon Rent stayed home, and he was right in the middle of the field there, so
Liberty Center, I think, does, and we've talked about this, their coaching staff does a great job gearing these guys up with the film study, and they know tendencies. They understand how their opponent's going to play them.
All right, trip receivers to the wide side, out of the gun. Rolling now left, has time, now under pressure.
Oh,
and
yes,
he's
sir.
going to be sacked in the backfield. Saccharino.
Xander Zinder with a Saccarino, but that pressure came from a lot of angles, man.
Yeah.
You know, he was back there. Cody Scroggins was trying to find a way out. He was in jail, and great finish. Great finish by Xander Zinder.
This front seven is absolutely dominating on defense right now.
And I think
he has no hope. His quarterback has no chance.
Yeah, he needs an ice bath here at half. That's no fun what he's had to deal with. Give him credit. He's hanging in there, Cody Scroggins, but he has taken a beating.
Yeah.
All right, the Tiger defense spreads out. We've got double wide out either side. They're going to give a little, almost a delay up the middle, picks up maybe a yard or two, and that'll end the first half. Just kind of a let's run the clock out and get to halftime break. 28-0. Liberty Center on top of Huron as we head for the break.
All right. Once again, we want to thank our sponsors here. We'll run that as our sponsor commercials will take us to halftime. We'll cover the bands, and we'll be back after this halftime break.
A farmer-owned cooperative with 9 locations here in northwestern Ohio.
Featuring the Huron Tiger Marching Band. Tonight, the Huron Band would like to bring you our senior show with all songs selected by our senior class. First song is popular in 1999 by Lou Bega. Song ranked number 3 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 in November of 1999, giving Bega his only top 40 hit in the United States. Charting at number 1 in 26 different countries, Tiger fans, this is Mambo number 5. To announce the band's reunion following their 3-year hiatus. It was a song album saying rock and roll. The song reached triple platinum status, hit number 1 on Sirius XM's Best of 2013, and hit 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 12 consecutive weeks in the top 20. Featuring our fabulous Tigerettes, as well as our senior trumpets, Nick Walls, and sophomore trumpets Ben Harkleroad, Jared Smith, Owen Mueller, and Reese Kelly. This is My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. Close tonight with an empowerment pop rock hit released in 2015 by Demi Lovato. The song debuted at number 24 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and peaked at number 21, and has reached quadruple platinum status in the United States. The Tiger Band asks you, what's wrong with being confident? Assistant Director Victoria Straka, Percussion Instructor Nick Stutzman, and Tiger Red Advisor Tabitha Ramey. We would like to thank our community administration, fan parent organization, and everyone for their continued support. Thank you for listening, and go Tigers! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in welcoming to the overarching pride of Tiger Country, the Liberty Center Tiger Marching Band. They be joined this year by drum major Reese Kessler, band captain Vivian Hoover. Tonight, the band is bringing you our Halloween show. Check our costumes and keep bringing a bit of our Halloween spirit without the stealth stuff. Our first song brings the dead back to life, and they can't help but dance along. This is Michael Jackson's Thriller. Drum major, Reese Kessler. Is your band ready? You missed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Liberty Center Tiger Marching Band. Clear this up. Well, there's something strange going on in the neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? Clear the road as that station wagon comes through. Here's Ghostbusters. Song tonight brings back one of our favorites from the earlier show. And what would Halloween be without some superhero costumes? Well, we may even have one of the band members dressed up like this Chief Crusader on the field tonight. The bat signals in the sky. To the bat poles, rather. The Penguins getting away. Someone call Batman.
Halftime from Rexlinger Stadium, Kip Kern Field, the Liberty Center Tigers 28, the Huron Tigers 0. Scotty, it's I think the stats will tell the story here.
Well, I think that Huron brought a lot more energy than we've seen in a long time, and I think it showed, but Liberty Center has just gradually stayed patient in the running game, and the numbers really prove the scoreboard out. Total yards in the first half, Liberty Center 293 to Huron's 59. So that's a tribute, and Spike talked a lot about it. He's snacking on some soup. He's a soup man, as he said. But our defense has been ferocious, and it has left nothing, not a morsel for Huron tonight. Rushing, Liberty Center, 23 rushes for 234. Huron, 11 rushes for 23. So Liberty Center, I know that Huron came in and wanted to run their big fullback, Andrew Delaney, but Liberty has just pretty much suffocated the running game. Liberty Center passing, 4 for 9 for 59 yards from Landon Amstutz. And Huron, their quarterback, Cody Scroggins, has shown arm talent but has struggled. He's 4 for 13 for 36 yards, but he did have a nice 3rd and 18 connection there before half, and you saw his arm talent. That was impressive. Colton Cruz, 10 rushes for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. His brother, Trenton Cruz, 7 rushes for 69 yards. The Cruz Coalition in full gear tonight. He had a touchdown.
Cruz Coalition. That's going to stick.
Waylon Rentz has a rushing TD. So Liberty Center in all forms and phases tonight, throwing it efficiently, running the ball well. And I think Brian, I think you would admit what my big takeaway from the half was Liberty Center's physicality has really started to take a toll on Huron's top offensive players. Cody Scroggins feeling it tonight a little bit, Andrew Delaney, and Liberty Center has made Bo Harkleroad their number one offensive threat. He has disappeared.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's gotten a catch, to be honest.
All right, how many targets? 1 or 2? Not many.
I mean, as the quarterback position, you cannot take hits the way that Scroggins has taken tonight, and just he can't get comfortable. He can't set up. He's having to rush every single throw because of the pressure. And then there have been some routes that have been open, but he just doesn't have time to set his feet and really throw it tonight, and that's a testament to our defensive line.
And I tell you, every time you've seen a receiver, in a passing route, Liberty Center's had a DB in the vicinity. They're not getting beat. There's no running free. There's no one wide open in the middle of the field. Liberty has been well schooled on these routes, these route trees, and we've just done a really good job. Our defensive back play has been fantastic, and I've been very impressed. We're getting great play out of Cam Colley and Grady Miller. We're getting good play from Aiden Talent, and of course, Landon Cruz. We're getting a little support, too, from Blake Garber. He's getting a few snaps. So Liberty's safeties and defensive backs are benefiting from the pressure and the pounding that Liberty Center's really starting to administer to Huron's passing game. And to your point, not a lot of time, and he's been patient. It's a good-looking quarterback, but when you don't have more than 2.5 seconds to throw the football and spike, that's been my big takeaway. I'm not sure what yours were, but the physicality of Liberty Center's defense and their offensive line has started to lean all over Huron.
It's just my cup runneth over with talent, and then all the abstracts, all the under the current levels of come to play, because Liberty Center is in it mentally. They came into this game really ready to play, just hoping for a chance that they could just slug it out with someone. We saw that. 4 sustained drives, 3 of them of 80 yards for sure. I don't remember where the other one started. But Liberty's just hitting on all cylinders, and this is a team that's hungry. I think the word hungry may typify this team, one of the adjectives, about the best.
We need to put it in perspective, too. Huron is an 8 seed. They come in as a distinct underdog. They did not come in here as a favorite or anything like that, and I think our coaching staff did a great job of preparing this Liberty Center football team against a team like Huron that is loaded with seniors and talented players and playmakers. They've got a lot of players, Brian, that can cause damage, but this defense, specifically the defensive line, you're getting a lot of just physicality out of Seth Navarre and Landon Bockelman and Xander Zeider. Liberty Center is just defensively tonight is just playing ferocious.
Yeah, they are. They're playing at a nasty level. There's been some big hits, and I mean, I'm telling you, these offensive weapons that Huron has, there are some good players over there. I've seen some film, and they've gotten loose, and they are good, but you cannot tell when you play against this defense.
Liberty Center will be kicking this ball off, Spike, and you got to believe Huron's got to. They've got to probably go all in on this first drive. It's 28-0, and Liberty is going to get this football back eventually. So Huron's got to answer. They've got to put something together and make themselves feel like they're competitive in this football game. This first drive, this first kick return, I think is going to be a real telling opportunity for Huron to see if they can put it together.
Yeah, I don't think they have to try to throw 30-yard plays every time. They just need one score.
Yeah.
They just need one drive to get themselves re-gooned, if you will, and then let a break maybe come their way and try to battle your way back in slow but sure. All right, first possession will be key. Line drive kick, hits it to 10, and that's going to bounce and pound its way into the end zone where the ball would be brought out to the 20.
Man, oh man, number 51, Tyler Lay again. Heat-seeking missile, and I'm telling you, if you're in front of that guy, he's going full go. He's about 5'7". He looks like Pocket Hercules. I mean, he is one mean dude. Liberty's coverage team has been so good all year, and they've not disappointed here in the first kickoff of the second half.
Yeah, and the defense can run in different looks. It's not about power, strength, dominance. It's situational changes because they've got that kind of a defensive front seven that they can do so much with. All right, so Huron takes over. They got a double wide out to the Liberty Center Tiger side of the field, out of the gun with two protectors. Hands off.
Oh, goodness. Colton.
Wow.
Colton Cruz. I want to see that on film if I can get that. That would be a fantastic replay. Let's watch where that play
may
went.
Be one of the tackles of the year.
Oh, man. Let's see
That's
where
not
that
a small guy. He's
Where is that? Oh, good read. Ooh, boom.
Wow, Xander, too. Xander.
Oh, so Xander
may have
whacked him first, but then Colton put a little whipped cream on it and stomped him to the ground. Goodness. Wow.
All right,
That's a big
I
collision.
show a three-man front.
Welcome to the second half, eh?
Back to throw. Here
Oh,
comes
boy.
pressure.
Right,
Right,
fumble.
Ball
Oh, wow.
loose, but I think
Strip Saccarino.
Huron.
You owe us a Saccarino call. Let's go.
Shoot.
How in the
Yeah,
world?
I was too worried about the fumble recovery, and we got a man down.
We got
from
multiple
Huron.
men down. Liberty has come out of the half. Just absolutely. There you go, man. If you can't do the original, we'll take the button. Thanks, Captain. Waylon Rentz Liberty just getting all kinds of penetration. This first drive, it looks nightmarish.
Hey, couple
Huron.
quick scores. Oak Harbor 28, Highland 0. And so the winner of this game will play the winner of that game. And it's like Archbold and Coldwater are tied at 14 at half. Was looking for the PH score. I'll get that here for you just a second. Patrick Henry 12, Arlington 14 at the half. Arlington, I'll tell you what, Arlington was a 12 seed, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, a 12 seed team, but they're playing good ball at the right time. So they lead Patrick Henry at Patrick Henry, which is a tough place to play, guys. Mm-hmm. You know, we talk about playing here, but PH is a tough place to play.
Well, Mark, it is a tough place to play, but I don't know that it has the same cachet.
I did not make any insinuation it was like Liberty Center.
I know you're the boss, but you better watch yourself.
No, I can be replaced easily. Trust me, dude.
Kyle Lehman, the injured Huron Tiger, gets up, goes off under his own power, 6'3", 275.
I'm telling you what, Liberty has come out this first two plays, Brian, and there has been some next-level physicality here.
It's just,
wow.
The same thing here in the second half so far.
Third down and 19, the ball back at their own 11-yard line. The Huron Tigers need a big play. Out of the gun, they fake the handoff. Rolling back,
screen. That
tipped
could be
away.
picked.
Oh, what a play.
Wow, Landon Bockelman.
Reject.
That guy.
So Landon Bockelman kind of takes the fake. Can I get a replay on that one? Landon Bockelman does a great job. He gets in and kind of plays the fake. Can we get it or do we lose it?
No, we don't have it.
All right. Tell you what, that would have been great one to isolate on Landon Bockelman, Brian. He went in and did his job, his assignment. He went with the play action and then just basically exploded to the quarterback with grizzly bear paws. And then you had 19 Waylon Rentz in the vicinity. That was a great defensive series by Liberty.
Unreal.
One of the best defensive series we've seen all year long right there.
Tigers showing block.
Ooh,
gets
boy.
it off just barely. Ball hits at the 40. Picked up there and tries to split two tacklers. Momentarily fumbles it. Falls on it himself. I believe it was
It was Cam Colley.
Okay.
Well, I think Casey Spike likes that better than letting the thing drop. He picks it up. He advances the ball. We're about at the 41, 42-yard line. Great field position, but that was a fantastic defensive series by Liberty Center. Minus 9 yards on that drive for Huron. That is not the way I anticipated they would start.
They come out of the offense looking to get something going, and not going to happen.
Got their lights knocked out.
Chambers, the wing over on the right side. 2 tight end set. Twin setbacks. Give off that left side. Not much doing there. Huron closes fast, cuts him down maybe 1.5 yards inside the 40-yard line.
Good job by Huron's interior line. Like Brian said earlier, they're switching their fronts. 3-man where they're covering the center, 4-man where they're playing over the guards. They're trying about anything. Give them credit, man. They're a 3-4 team. That's 3 down linemen with 4 linebackers, 2 on the line of scrimmage standing up. But tonight they've had to vary their look spike. They've needed to find an answer. Good job on that first snap.
Talent goes wide to the far side. Double wing package, single setback, now motion, Colton Cruz. They're going to give it straight ahead to Trent. Trent pounds forward for a couple more. Huron giving ground grudgingly here on this Tigers possession.
I think Casey Moeller likes the pace here. Get in the huddle, let the clock wind, take the air out of it a little bit, be real physical. 3rd and 5 is a very, very convertible 3rd down spike. A lot of playbook available here for Casey.
Well, and Liberty Center's getting some meaningful playing time here in the second half. I mean, the game is on the line. We're trying to really get something set up here, and Liberty Center are rising to the occasion. Wing right, or motion. I'll give
nice
to the
block
third
by
back.
Chambers.
Colton Cruz
He exploded.
breaks through one, breaks through
Adios,
another.
amigos.
Cuts to the outside.
Wow.
5, 4, 3, 1. Touchdown, Liberty Center.
We want to see a replay on that. Number 24, Colton Chambers with the key block. And then Colton was shot out of a gun. Colton Cruz, watch the block. Boom, Chambers. Here comes 5. Oh, number 5, Trenton Cruz with a big block. That is precision blocking by the backfield right there, Spike. And then you got Colton Cruz says, patience in the hole. Boom, rifle shot for the touchdown. Wow.
His ability to sift his way through the defense. He has never scored a touchdown from beyond 5 yards out without changing directions 3 times. He ain't satisfied straight ahead. He wants to dipsy-do pinball baby.
I am not sure what that conversation was at halftime, but it looked like a very physical group on both sides of the ball. That was as physical of a sequence, Brian, and we've talked about it all year, but that right there, that was big-time football right there from Liberty Center.
Again, a couple scoring updates. Oak Harbor up 35-0, guys.
Wow.
So interesting.
Pace.
We'll play the winner of that game against Highland, and I'll get the Patrick Henry score once again. Patrick Henry now 28. Arlington 14. PH with 2 quick scores.
Billinsman can put points on the board. I would like for some of our viewers to text us and direct message us where we might play Oak Harbor next week. That'd be kind of a fun little.
Yeah.
Is it Lake? Is it Perrysburg? Is it somewhere Norwalk? Is it somewhere else? But maybe some of our listeners can give us some ideas on where we might play.
What about Genoa?
Maybe play at Genoa.
Throw that out there.
You got an idea where we might play next week?
Rob Myers, he's an old Liberty Center football coach.
Yes,
He's
he is.
Currently involved with,
And a great wide receiver, by the way,
yes.
number 81.
Yeah, he thinks it could be Bowling Green.
Yeah,
Could
you know
be.
what?
That's what
There you go.
that's
There
going to
you
be
go.
my vote. If Perrysburg wins tonight, it will definitely, I believe, be Bowling Green. If they lose, it could be Perrysburg.
Okay, here's the kickoff. Line drive. That's going to hit
Uh-oh,
at the
that ball
8-yard
is
line.
touched.
Very difficult.
Better
to
pick that
field.
up.
They've got to pick it up at the 1-yard line,
Oh,
trying
man.
to get outside.
Oh, man.
Gets around one Tiger tackler and finally finds himself stepping out of bounds.
He turned that disaster into something productive, and that really is the essence of number 5, Bo Harkleroad. I mean, there's a guy that was in trouble on the goal line, fumbling a football, Brian, and got 11, 12 yards out
That's
of
why you
it.
can't let him get loose.
The
And
guys,
they have
the
not.
game. I'm sorry, Brian. The game of the night is the Archbold Blue Streaks and Coldwater Cavaliers tied at 14, getting ready to go into the fourth quarter.
That heavyweight, lower bracket division, region 18 matchup right there. I like the Defiance Central Catholic game. That would interest me.
Yeah, they were a big dog.
Edison 31, Eastwood 0.
All right, now throw underneath.
Nice
a
tackle.
Little, backward step. Grabbed it behind the line of scrimmage. Tries to break forward. Gets up about a 3-yard pickup.
Landon Cruz, great tackle. But there you go, Brian. They're going to get that. They're going to get the ball to Harkle Road there. That was the first time we saw it. Just a dedicated throw, a little swing pass, little slot quick pass, and good job. Got him to the ground. That's what we talked about. Great tackling space by Landon Cruz.
All right, spread formation. Tigers show a standard defense. They flip it out into the flats. Now cuts past one, sticks his head down, bores forward up across the 25-yard line, and that'll move the chains for a first down for the Huron Tigers.
Scouting report does talk about a speed option. They will run a little option. That's what that was. Nice little toss right there to number 15, Andrew Delaney. So Huron pulling out a playbook. We expected more short passes to their weapons and a little bit more creative on the running attack. Good job by Huron.
Coldwater just scored up 21-14 here in that heavyweight bout.
Wow. Okay. Double wide out to the wide side. Now rolling that way. Has time. Looks. He'll fire it up there.
Man,
Two defenders back there.
Oh.
And they really had him blanketed. That looks like, well, let me see. They're pulling him up.
Landon Cruz.
Landon Cruz. But it was a good play by the receiver, turned into a defenseman there.
Yeah.
And kept the interception from happening.
Good job by Landon there, as deep as being that deep safety, staying on top of that big route there. Great play.
Well, again, we've seen a dedicated effort to get the ball to number 5, Bo Harkle Road. I'm telling you, the 5'10", 5'11" senior getting some targets now.
You know, the captains went from a schmuck to a wise analyst. Wow. All right, now the little real draw. Running room there, puts his head down. Bangs his way up to the 30-yard line, pick up a 5.
Liberty had him looking like a tackle for loss, but Delaney, just a powerful athletic runner, a Division I caliber prospect. Understand he's being recruited by Mid-American Conference schools. I mean, you could see it. He's got great speed and great size, and his feet in the hole look really good and nimble right there, and got himself 5 yards.
And he was willing to put his head down and
finish a run. He's a tough guy.
All right, now 4 receivers to the far side of the field. Boy, this is going to be something underneath maybe. No, they'll throw a little out.
Oh, nice catch.
What? He caught that ball. Wow, what a grab.
Jackson McNulty has made some plays tonight.
Grab.
Wow, Jackson McNulty, the 6'4" junior, just snatched the ball. Oh, impressive right there.
Scott, I would like to thank you for that little shout-out. I just got 38 text messages.
All right, that's what our audience is active.
Very
and I like
fun.
it. That's why you pay your bill, my friend.
That's right.
What's the consensus?
A lot of people thinking Lake, but we think Lake is under construction, so I don't know that they're a candidate.
They cannot hold one this year.
Oh, here comes Xander.
Back to throw, a little down and up and
Job
out.
Grady.
Or out and up, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Grady Miller all over Jackson McNulty, step for step. That's size on size, too. Casey's really like Grady's size and length.
And he's got such a nose for the coverage. He can stay close. He just has a knack for great defensive back. You never would have guessed it, that was his forte.
He's a good-looking athlete, man. Playing through the hands of the receiver, just doing a great job technically.
All right, trip receivers now motion back this way. Delayed call, now has to scramble. Pressure there from Navarre, and he'll have to throw it away.
Tell you what, they wanted to go big there. They wanted to, they looked at an out and up there with Bo Harkle Road, but the pressure again.
Yep.
I mean, if he gets an extra second half, you got a guy that's maybe the fastest guy in the field down the numbers, but our pressure just has not allowed him to get his feet set and get into the route tree. It's just Liberty's pressure has been fantastic tonight.
Trent Cruz is on top of that route, too.
I think Liberty Center this week in practice, defensively, pass defense downfield, the big ball, they practiced that for a long time, multiple nights. Now motion, play action, now nice to run a quarterback, draw Navarro, none of that! Boom! Smack!
Well, I think that Seth got a little excited with and I think he kind of had a fist in exuberance, and then you saw their offensive line kind of come to Cody Scroggins' bedside there as he got whacked. But I think they're going to give a penalty, and I think they're going to get a penalty to Seth Navarre. And I think that's probably a good penalty, and we'll see how Casey responds.
Well, I think Casey's upset because both the Cruz boys got smacked late over here, and they didn't call anything. So now, guess what? It's on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that Liberty Center's the beehive you want to mess with at this point. This thing's 35-0, and again, I appreciate Huron. They want to be physical, and they want to answer that physicality, but this is the wrong bunch of dudes to do that with.
That's not the way to do it.
I saw a big push, and Navarre went tumbling back, but
I think he was excited and
before the push. Okay.
I'll give Huron's kids credit defending the quarterback.
All right, trip receivers, far side, little delayed draw up the middle, and that'll go nowhere.
No, thank you.
Snowed under a host of Tiger tacklers. Zeiter in there.
Has Bockelman, too, just doing a great job. That front, again, our defensive line does a great job of penetrating and neutralizing blocks, and they've just been much more physical. And Liberty now, there you go.
Up, man.
Now they're excited. This was kind of a ho-hum 35-0, and
you just woke them up again here.
Like it's not
Brogan
what you wanted.
Checks into the lineup. And Liberty Center keeping fresh people in there. They show a 5-man front out of the gun, rolling.
Oh, there you go. Where's the penalty there? 52.
Goodness. And home run ball, and that's going to be well defended.
That's getting nasty now. I thought number 52 there stepped over the line. Illegal use of hands. He won't get that call, but Bartson Aiden has been the guy that's answered with some physicality, but that one was kind of nasty. And the officials have done a really good job of not making a lot of calls, but that's a hard one to miss. And I'm not sure where the lead official was, but he blew that.
Get control here. This thing's going to get.
They got to do a better job. That one was that one was over the top in my view. It needed to be called.
Wait a minute. This isn't flag football.
Yeah,
let them mix it up a little bit.
I love it. I think it's
frustrations. Yeah, let them go.
But
boom,
you cannot do it illegally, though.
Well, not illegally.
And that's what that was.
No grabbing ankles. Wow, a little pitch sweep, running to right, sends through a tackle, bangs forward, pick up at 12 yards. That's going to be, I believe, enough for a Huron first down.
Andrew Delaney doing a good job. Physical runner, man. He's not just a speed back. He is physical. And, again, Huron wants it. They want it here in the third quarter, and they have stepped up physically and answered Liberty's first offensive and defensive drive. So give Huron some credit. They've got some fight left.
All right. Instead of the first down, it's 4th and 1, and, of course, they're going for it. The Liberty 46. Motion to the far side.
Yeah, drew us off sides. Yep, that's Landon Bockelman on the hard count. That'll be first down Huron.
If I'm Huron, I'm not talking trash, but they seem to be.
They're
sure what the how you can do that when you're down 30.
That'll be the end of the third quarter. So we'll take a break here and hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Liberty Center up 35-0 going into the fourth quarter.
A huge thank you to our 2023-2024 Tigers Sport Life sponsors: KK Collision, Meyer Badenhoff Insurance, STN Design, Affinity IT Group, 3Chord, Davis Farm Services, Swanton Welding, Ham and Dick Leatherman, Pisanello's Pizza, and Gerald Grain Centers.
All right,
on a defensive penalty, they'll get one on time down here.
All right, draw or play action and misfires. I think it may have been dropped.
Yeah, there we go.
They got it.
It's happening. It's like every play now.
Yeah,
wow, he really cold cocked him from behind.
Really
and Colton Cruz went flying.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. They've had. I think this Huron team wants to fight back, but
this is about 3.
I tell you, here's one of the things I'm watching, guys. You guys are watching the field. Liberty Center's coaching staff has got to be careful here.
Sure, of course.
They're all rushing on the field, and they called him. They told him to back up, and he went to grab his flag, and Casey grabbed his staff. So they gotta regroup here as we now are going into the fourth quarter, and so now they did call the penalty against
Huron is rallying over there, and they've got themselves together, and they've shown some fight here. But some of the stuff is cheap and late.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I like it during like Spike said, I like it during the play. I like it nice and hard.
Yeah, mix her up.
I don't like the cheap shot in the back.
Yeah.
I don't like some of the after the whistle burying your helmet. So Huron is beginning to struggle here a little bit. So we'll see how this thing goes. I think Liberty Center's offensive line, you're going to see a pretty good drive here.
Yeah, I think Liberty is going to get settled down.
It's really important for the coaching staff to settle our guys down too. Here, we don't need a bad penalty.
We won't suspend it for the next week. You don't want any ejections.
Oak Harbor now 41-7 over Highland, so it looks like we will be playing Oak Harbor. And the consensus is Perrysburg. And I think it might be Perrysburg, depending on if Perrysburg wins or not.
What's the Perrysburg score right now?
The Perrysburg score is... Oh, I knew you'd ask that after
They were the lower seed, weren't they?
Yes.
Okay.
Olentangy Berlin is up 13-0 at the end of 3. Okay. So Perrysburg is not winning, and I think that will be a big factor. That was one of the things that Liberty wanted to host a playoff game, but with the team going deeper into the playoffs, all high school playoffs are on Fridays. Now, I will say to the people out there watching, should we get to the state championship, that is actually will be on Saturday, December the 2nd. Okay. So they did divide up the state championship games. It will be in Canton. If Liberty Center Tigers make it to that game, we will be there, folks.
All right.
Well, let's see how Liberty responds here with this drive. I'm going to tell you, if you want to get in the middle on the 50-yard line and go toe-to-toe with Liberty Center, you're about ready to get an answer here. Let's see what Liberty's got here on the ground.
All right, 2nd and 25. The ball back at their Huron's 47. Give out of the right side, tries to find running room, and Liberty strings it out, smacks him down, and smashes him up. No gain on 2nd down.
Yeah, Liberty Center doing a great job of stringing that play out, and a good answer. We were looking for an answer. Good job by Liberty, and I think both staffs got their kids together and get a little heated, which you kind of like a little bit, as long as it's legal. But good job by Liberty Center. Their defensive line, linebacker swarmed. I saw Waylon Rentz there finishing a tackle. Good job by Liberty.
All right, and the starting unit is playing now into the 4th quarter. You got to like that just for the guys getting a feel for the toughness of the long duration. Now motion this way. Quarterback rolls left, now throws back right. They say,
yes, sir.
What a
yes, sir.
Cold Clyde. Lordy Moore.
That's how you answer right there.
Nobody was fooled there.
Yeah, they're a screen team, Spike, and they hadn't thrown a lot of screens tonight. They've looked to throw a screen or two, but Colton Cruz, my goodness. I mean, just read it perfectly and then blew it up. That wasn't just a great read. That was a complete and utter annihilation of a screen. Wow, great play, Colton Cruz. My goodness. Very nice.
Coach Weimer down there leading the troops, congratulating the defenders coming off.
That was the answer you wanted.
That punt was nearly blocked. Fair catch called for there by Moeller inside the 30, where Liberty will take over with 10-19 left here in the 4th quarter.
Hey, real quick, Patrick Henry putting up points quick. Bill Inselman and his group over there now up 34-14 over Arlington at home. So they're looking pretty good right now. Just getting about the end of 3. I'll try to get the Archbold Coldwater update. I know Coldwater went up on Archbold. 28-14. Coldwater now up with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Okay.
Ooh. All right, Amstutz under center. Colton Cruz in motion. They give it to Trent off left side. He takes on 2 tacklers, spins and drives, still won't go down, and picks up about 4 tough yards.
Okay, blow the whistle, guys.
Oh, that is an 11 guys in white can't bring down Trent Cruz. I mean, good job. They swarmed to the football and kind of limited that run to 2 or 3 yards, Brian, but that's 11 Huron Tigers that can't bring down Trenton Cruz.
That's what he does right there.
Milan Edison up over Eastwood 38-0 in the 4th quarter.
Jeez.
So it looks like
they might win, but not like that. Wow. All right, Tigers with 2 wideouts, far side. They give the
There
second
you
back.
go.
Colton Cruz breaks through one time.
There you go.
Spins out of another. Takes on a third tackler and bangs his way up across the 40-yard line.
Just when you think you got him,
Man.
there's that man again, just running those feet, squaring those shoulders, Spike, just not stopping. I mean, these Cruz kids,
Brutal.
man, oh man.
He's not a dipsy-dancy doing
No,
guy.
he got straight.
Although he has those moves,
Yeah.
but he pounds like a fullback.
He got himself squared to line of scrimmage and bang through for some extra yards. Great
All
run.
right, they got the I formation. Zeider lines up in front. Now they'll shift out of that and go to the standard wing right set. Give first back. Dancing his way
Ooh,
through.
what a cut.
Trent Cruz spins through one. Up across the 50 and down to the 48.
I'm going to tell you right now, Clayton Seal's having a big ball game in there. That was a great block. Anytime you see 0-1 traps right in the middle of the line of scrimmage, it's all center and guards, and Clayton's had some great blocks tonight. That was a great block by Clayton
Tyler
Seal.
Lay is in there, and he's out there just stomping and snorting like a bull ready to attack.
You don't want to incite that young man. He is
What
not
do you call him? The
pocket Hercules with a little Tabasco.
That was a gain of 9. Second down now and 1. The Tigers shift over. Bainfelt now the tight end on the right with Chambers the wing on the right. Amstutz under center. He'll give to the second back.
Here we
Looks
go.
for running room now.
Here we
Kicks
go.
It out top,
Here we
throws
go.
a straight arm, gets around the corner. Looks and leaps over a tackler and jumps his way down to the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
22 yards.
You know, there's been some glorification on the jumping and hopping. That didn't look all that theatrical or artistic. That wasn't really. He lined him up for the jump, and it looked a little.
The Russian judge gave him a 4.
He didn't. He ain't going to be on the pommel horse anytime soon. That was not impressive.
Captain.
Good run, but not a great
Let
jump
him
by
use that
Colton.
stiff arm.
Yeah,
instead.
bury the shoulder in his chin. Let's lay off the hopping.
All right, Rents the lone setback. Double wing set, Chambers in motion.
There
They'll
you
run
go.
the jet sweep.
A lot of
Chambers
dudes blocking.
following the
Nice
back.
cut.
Cuts
Way to
outside.
set it up.
Here we
He's got
go.
some running room. Cuts up inside.
Great
Runs over
run,
2 tacklers.
Colton Chambers.
Pounds down inside the 15 to the 14.
Yeah.
19 yards gain
Guys,
for Chambers.
That's just a student body, 27 toss sweep, rock and roll. I mean, a convoy of
The way
dudes
he
blocking.
set that block up, he kind of paused right there and then cut it outside.
It was
Good job.
impressive.
Well, and if it wouldn't have been for Andrew Delaney, the speedster, running him down from behind,
Yeah.
he might have been all the
Yeah,
way.
that was an impressive run by Colton Chambers, but better, Brian, good catch. He set the block up, real patient runner. He is a very bright kid. He could be running the backfield for a lot of teams.
6.5 minutes to go. Liberty has the ball on the Huron 15-yard line.
Ooh, Colton again. Here
Yep,
we go.
Third guy through and runs into a lot of interference.
Nice finish, though.
He'll get down to the 10 somehow. That was all second and third effort after the hit.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
I love the way we're running after contact.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting contacted, and we're driving through tacklers. It's impressive. Great job by Colton Chambers.
All right, 2nd and 5 now at the 10-yard line of Huron. 6 minutes left in the ball game, and the Tigers' first units playing into the fourth quarter. First time since Tenora. All right, Amstutz under center. Colton on the right.
Straight
Colton gets
dive.
a handoff,
There it
pounds
was.
through,
Touchdown.
and into the end zone. It's a Liberty Center. Tiger touchdown again. 10 yards. Colton Cruz right up the gut.
You know, Liberty has got such diversity in their run game. They like to run power. They like to run sweep with a lot of bodies out in front. Boy, they can hit you like lightning on those dives, Brian. And I'm telling you, defenders, it's hard to see that coming. Those dives can be really effective.
And these guys don't need much time, man. You give them a little bit of 1 second, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Wow. We're seeing greatness, gentlemen. All right, the Tigers set up for the PAT. Set down good.
Whoa.
No, I think that somebody may have got a hand in
Or
there.
a snap? I don't know. That did not look right. That operation
Yeah.
did not look good there. But great job at Liberty Center. It is 41-0. They're going to win this football game and get on to Oak Harbor. But man, it got a little nasty there at the end of the third and the fourth, and you know I kind of admire Huron. I mean, they could have shut this thing down, gotten the bus,
Yeah,
but
they're
they wanted some, and Liberty gave it to them.
Well, this is a pretty special Liberty Center Tiger team.
Yes.
You know, we've stayed away from adhering to that, alluding to that all year, but I think we're really seeing the fruition. it gets tougher every week.
Well, it's going to get tougher next week. Oak Harbor is going to be a war.
Yeah, they'll bring the bus.
Two undefeated teams. Oak Harbor.
Yeah, that's going to be a great regional semifinal.
Coldwater just jumped out 28-14 on Archbold.
Yeah,
that one might be nearing its conclusion. I'll tell you tonight, guys, Colton Chambers has been outstanding catching the football. Mm-hmm. He has been fantastic blocking, and he has had some great runs tonight. He has had a complete game.
He's the unsung hero, really on both sides of the ball.
If I knew where the train whistle was on the board, I'd have just blown that right.
He's worthy of it tonight.
Yeah, he's having a great game.
It's so nice, and Spike, you talk about you don't want to single out one player because you just look at the units of the game and different things. But, man, sometimes some of those individuals really just stick out, and Colton tonight for me has done a great job.
From the 10-yard line.
There we go.
He's
gone.
Got a lane down the sideline.
Finally see him do something. He is gone. Touchdown.
90 yards all the way into the end zone. What a great cut to the outside. Got two great blocks to spring him loose, and that speed was not going to be caught.
That was actually number 5, not 15.
That's Bo Harkle Road.
I misread the.
Go.
There it was, and you kind of waited all night, Brian, and you kind of see what that dude can do. Yeah. Fortunately, it's not gonna help them much, but that was impressive. He got out and got down the sidelines, Spike, and put it into another gear.
Guys, I'm watching. Again, you watching the field. I'm watching everything else. Landon Cruz went out and grabbed a player by the face mask and said, "You have got to be over there." So you talk about those on-field coaches.
Well, this gives Casey something to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a good coaching point here come tomorrow morning and next Monday.
And they're down there looking at it on the iPad here.
Low snap.
Nice kick.
Good grab. Good
out there on 109.
Kick
he
good.
can
41-7. So Huron on the board.
You saw the power of Cameron Manor. We'd heard about it. You've seen it on film, but he blasted that ball to Whitehouse. Goodness.
Big leg.
Tell you what, Spike, Liberty Center, though, give Huron credit. They answered with some physicality, but Liberty Center has been top to bottom dominant tonight in all phases of the game.
Now, I think we will be going to a running clock, so with 3:18 left here in the fourth, it's going to be a short game here.
Make sure you join us in the KK Collision postgame, and we'll be looking for Kyle Kern. I'm waiting for my text. He'll have a contribution on players of the game tonight, so we got to get Kyle engaged. KK Collision, one of our title sponsors.
And just a couple program updates. We actually will have the Liberty Center Powder Puff football game this Wednesday at 1:30 during the day. If you're at work and you got a cool boss like all you guys got, evidently.
Yikes.
You can be watching the game at 1:30. The Powder Puff will kick off, and then obviously next Friday, wherever Liberty goes, so will Tiger Sports Live. And we'll bring you that game again on the road, 6:30 pregame.
Well, I think the Liberty Center girls senior class is undefeated in that Powder Puff, and I think that they are.
How do they do that?
Licking their chops.
Junior, seniors.
Well, they match them up. It's seniors and to get sophomores
school?
And well, they typically do it at night. I've been to plenty of the games. It's a lot of fun. The girls really get into it. They gear up. They face paint it.
Nice.
And this senior class, this 24 group that just won a volleyball championship. They've won a league title, district championship in cross country, a regional
basketball Final Four.
Basketball Final Four. I mean, this class, this senior class, this 24 class is impressive.
Yeah.
But on Powder Puff, Spike, they really enjoy playing Liberty Center football. This is their chance to play football.
Yep.
I know my Beatrice Barrett loves it. I'll tell you that.
Are they going to do
And
that
our student broadcasters are going to do that.
yeah?
So,
Broadcasters love it.
Our student broadcast class, Jeff Ressler and his group, going to be doing that. We'll
Wait
set
a minute.
it all up. We'll
I
run
wanted
the
a
board.
Saccarino call in that Powder Puff, a smaccarino. Beatrice has lived to do a smackerino.
Cole Ballman will be on the board so he can make that stuff happen.
Here we go, Cole.
I get Wednesday afternoons off. I believe I'll be over here. That should be good. All right, so Huron set to kick off now from the 45. The little pooch over the top. That's going to squib around, and Liberty will fall on it down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, they had put number 5, their speed demon, Bo Harkleroad, on the outside to run that down. He kicked it into a hole by the sidelines. That's not a bad little play when you get a guy running a 10-9 100 meters. And he was there. I mean, he was ball hawking on that little squib kick.
Now Mason Smith comes in at quarterback here for Liberty Center with 3:05 left and I think a running clock here.
I get very, very satisfied when number 12 is walking off healthy and feeling good about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I have any impact on the game plan, but I can assure you on Wednesdays, between Mark and I, we're saying, hey, man, Landon Amstutz, wrap that guy up some gauze, feed him nicely, keep him healthy.
Wrap.
Little fumble down there on the snap. That ball's still bouncing around.
Huron's got it.
Huron's got it.
Liberty kept it.
Nope,
no,
Huron.
They say it belongs to Huron. So Huron has a chance now to get on the board again, and they're going to try to jam it in. And at the same time, Liberty Center returns their defense. This is game-time stuff here. Forget the score.
Okay, here's an irony. Oak Harbor versus Highland is final, 41-7. What's our score?
Wow,
41-7. We're not final yet, but the winner, we will be taking on the Oak Harbor Rockets coming up, and we'll figure out where and when.
Didn't we play them before, about 4 or 5 years ago?
Christmas colors, red, green, and white.
All
there you go.
A little behind the line
they
of
got him
scrimmage.
wide open.
Double
Nice
pass,
design
wide
play.
open.
They didn't have flag.
Got a flag, though.
They jumped.
Wow, that was a well-designed play right there.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
Illegal procedure, some movement before the snap, but I'll tell you what, that play was set up perfectly.
Well, and Grady Miller actually went over and told the player, good play. But, I think Liberty quit when the flag, they thought that they were going to stop, right? Because that was a pre-snap penalty. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't. That was what happened?
Well,
I don't know. They know. Liberty knew that Huron had that play in the book, but all right. Now they set up trip receivers over here to the left side, rolling that way. Has time, throws it out there. Good open field hit. Wrapped him up, slammed him down.
Part of the Cruz coalition.
Yeah, that was a Landon Cruz tackle. Eat your heart out, Colton. Garrison and Trenton.
I'll tell you what, you got that right. That was a good-looking tackle. That was great.
He's been coming downhill these last couple weeks.
He's been hit a nice ball game as well.
That was just like tackling one of those tackling dummies.
Great slam tackle right there.
Yeah. Eat your heart out, Colton Cruz. Eat your heart out, Gary Cruz.
It's not going to be fun at the coalition meeting.
Oh no! Throw underneath. Good pursuit there.
Nice play.
There, slammed down. Another great tackle. Open field.
Very nice open field tackle.
Chambers.
Colton Chambers. Mark that name down for the KK Collision post game.
There's the train horn coming through. It ain't a very big train based on that. But.
Number 24 has had a big-time football game. I'm telling you, it's a great tackle right there. We talked about it, Brian. Get guys to the ground. We've done it all night.
Yep.
We've done it all night.
Well, and you got to admire Huron. Get the ball to their playmaker, just see what he can do.
All right, 15 seconds. This could be about the last play of the game. Drops back, looks, now scrambles, has some time, now holds up. Fires to the end zone and picked off.
Thomas
What
Bowler.
a way to end it. Thomas Bowler, number 3, a diving interception at the buzzer. And Liberty Center pulls one out in a grinding professional manner. They win it 41-7.
I really, really like what I just saw there. And it doesn't surprise me, but Xander Zeider goes over to number 55. Evan Trevino, and they kind of embrace, and I think they kind of cleaned up a little bit of what the mess was there.
Yeah.
And Xander is just as good of a kid as you can get. I mean, what a great citizen and a representative of this football team. But they had a nice long exchange, and just really proud of Xander and really proud of, number 55.
yeah.
Because this could have gotten a little choppier, and it settled. Both staffs settled this thing down. And I kind of admire Huron. They were down on the scoreboard, but they kind of felt like they needed to punch back, and they did.
Yeah.
And
in this situation, I don't mind that.
No.
Even if it got dicey, I don't have a big problem
I think
with
it makes the game better, but Liberty Center's got to be careful.
Yeah.
The reputation that they shouldn't have, but they do, and you don't want kids ejected for future games.
Spike, I have this hornet nest in my tree out back, and I just know it is not the right time to go poking it just yet. So, hey, well, you know what? Again, we will take on the Oak Harbor Rockets. They win 41-7 also. So, maybe a little irony. Two undefeated teams win their second-round playoff game 41-7. We're going to have a Donnybrook.
Yes.
Well, anytime you get two undefeated teams, man, they've not. You got two teams that'd be 24-0 in that game. That's a lot of victories and no losses.
A lot of wins. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and run our sponsorship commercials one last time, and we'll be back with the KK Collision post-game show right after this.
Thank you to KK Collision, a leader in the auto. Davis Farm Services is a family-owned agronomy business serving Northwest Ohio farmers for over 50 years. Swanson Welding has been providing our customers with the highest quality services for their metal fabrication needs since 1956. Ham and Dick Leather. Pisanello's Pizza. Great family restaurant serving up delicious pizza, subs, wings, salads, and a wide variety of appetizers right here in Liberty Center. Gerald Grain Centers, a farmer-owned cooperative with 9 locations here in northwestern Ohio.
All right, we're back here, and guys, it's time for the KK Collision post-game show where we'll have the offense and defensive players of the game, and then we'll pick the unit of the game. And, guys, Scott, you want to start?
Yeah.
Offensive player of the game.
There's a lot going on in tonight's game. A lot of individuals that played well, but really, in Spike's unit of the game, we'll have plenty of units that played well tonight. But on the offensive side of the ball, I had a couple guys. I thought, again, Seth Navarre has just played really well. I think our guards and centers. I'll tell you, an honorable mention for me tonight was number 71, Clayton Seal. He had a great night tonight. And my kids tell me I don't say Clayton Seal enough. I'll tell you what, he has shown up and played well all year, but the last couple weeks, just like Seth Navarre, he's been great. My offensive player of the game and is number 24, Colton Chambers. This is what Colton Chambers did for us tonight. He ran the football with conviction. He had many key blocks on big plays, and he made some big-time snatch catches to move the chains and to keep drives alive. He is the most diverse offensive player that we have in this football team, and tonight, my opinion, Colton Chambers is the runaway offensive player of the game. Spike?
Well, I liked Colton Cruz's contributions, but then as soon as you point him out, then you can turn around and say, well, Trent had just as many and he had one here. Amstutz with his leadership, his stuff. The offensive line ran into some issues tonight. Not really big issues. It just took them a while to get going. But Liberty Center dominated. 3 times the offense scored from the 20-yard line on sustained drives. And it was a grind them out, just continued thing. I'll throw my vote that way simply because of the overall game. Because, like you said, there's so many players had great games tonight. I'll go with Colton.
Mm-hmm. Brian?
Yeah, I mean, Colton Cruz obviously running the ball, and he had that pancake block on Colton Chambers' touchdown.
Highlight film block, yep.
He had a great game. Offensive line continued to dominate tonight. Seth DeVar, we called his name out a lot on some of those polls. And, I mean, Colton Chambers was, with the passing game and the running game, the combo of both, well, he had a great night. So he runs those inside traps so well. So I'm good. I'm good with Colton Chambers tonight. Excuse me.
Honorable mention for the offensive line.
Well, you got a unit of the game coming.
Whoa, whoa, boy!
What do you got, Mark?
It's going to be Colton Chambers. I think you guys talked a lot about, but to me, it's a natural for him to do those things, and he's just talented. What impresses me the most is him wanting to block the way he does.
Yes,
you don't have to block. You can just be a good runner and a good catcher, but he loves to block, and I think that sealed it for me. I think those blocks that he made and those,
catches.
The catches, the runs, but to me, the blocking, and not to say Colton Cruz doesn't block
they all do.
Every other kid,
That's right.
But Colton Chambers tonight, I think, was the complete package. So the offensive player of the game will go to Colton Chambers.
Yeah, I mean, and I want to put the exclamation point on that. I want to be very clear, and Kyle Kern, oftentimes, since he's our title sponsor, likes to sound off. He liked Colton Cruz tonight, but he liked a lot of players. I'll just say this. Colton Chambers is the most diverse offensive football player that we've had on this field in many years. That guy can do a lot of things for you.
Yep. All right, we'll move on to the defensive player. It doesn't get any easier, guys.
No.
We're going to let you start this one. This is a harder one.
I'll go second.
Yeah, Baki was just in everywhere on the other side of the ball. They tried it with one. They tried it with two. I was watching. They tried it with two, and they chipped him with a back. And he just didn't slow down. You guys have to watch where the ball's at and all the action. I get to watch the line. Landon Bockelman just did whatever Landon Bockelman wanted to. And then when he got a paw, those bear claws on somebody, they just didn't go anywhere. So I'm gonna throw out Landon Bockelman.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. I mean, he was single blocked a lot tonight, and he just made them pay for it. He wrecked the game. Even when he wasn't making the tackle or a sack,
he was making plays.
He was hitting the quarterback on a lot of those plays, and those were impactful later on in this game. So Landon Bockelman.
Spike, who's your defensive player of the game?
You guys stole my thunder. Bockelman, his pressures on the quarterback several times. Let's see, that was not Delaney. The quarterback was Scroggins. He was off balance. He could not set up and throw him. Bockelman's pressure was there. I mean, Landon Cruz is always a good player for several plays, makes big plays. But, yeah, no doubt, Baki.
Yeah, I give an honorable mention to number 8, Landon Cruz. I saw him make really key plays tonight in the secondary. We knew that Huron could throw the football. They had a lot of weapons. Our defensive secondary, I'll foreshadow my vote for unit of the game, but I thought Landon did a great job in terms of his play as a safety in that rover. But hands down, I think Kyle Kern also votes number 75. Landon Bockelman played like Reggie White tonight. He sacked the quarterback. He got tackles for losses. He buried he put hits on the quarterback. It was an impressive display. This might be his most dominant performance of his career.
Landon Bockelman, the Minister of Defense.
There you go. And I think it's a unanimous decision.
Yep.
Great job by Landon.
All right, the defensive player, the KK Collision defensive player of the game tonight, Mr. Landon Bockelman. And I say Mr. because he may be in the press box somewhere.
Smart.
I don't want to take any
Smart
chances.
man, Mark.
So, all right, Spike, this is your favorite time of the night.
Here it is.
The KK Collision unit of the game.
I believe I was struggling with this, but it became very aware that to me the offensive line is the unit of the game. The way they handled sustained drives. There was no gimmies in this game, no 30-yard field positions. These guys strung it out. They pushed them around. They pushed a team around that didn't want to be pushed. But I think the offensive line just totally dominated, and they just grounded out like smidgens. It don't get no better.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go with Spike at the end of the day because this is kind of his puppy. But there's one thing to note: Huron was very, very efficient in the passing game. I mean, they typically have been all season. That's what they do. They're very good at it. They've got weapons. They were 9 for 25 for 39 measly yards tonight. And I say to myself, well, all right, I mean, the defensive backfield played really well, and that was kind of what I thought. But I thought the defensive line was ferocious. Yeah. And so I think that kind of goes hand in hand with how the offensive line played. But I thought my vote tonight, and I would rather go with Spike's pick, but I'm going to vote for the defensive line because they controlled the running game. Hey. They controlled the passing game. That was an impressive, ferocious performance by the defensive line. Brian?
Yeah, I mean, flip a coin. Either lines, they both just dominated both sides of the ball tonight, and everything rolled from there. So I'm going to go with Spike. I'm going to go with Spike.
Here we go.
Well, let's let Captain. Let's let Captain.
Right here.
Well, you guys are all staring at me.
You got to go. Let's go.
No, I want to make sure that people out there listening know they're all good.
Yeah.
We're talking about good, better, best,
elite,
betterest than that, and excellence. So we're not talking about one, and these are tough, man. I mean, we're picking them apart and whatever. I really think I have to go with the defensive line, and Spike, I'll let you choose. But the defensive line, and I think, like you said, they're known for their quick passes. Casey was concerned about that. We all watched film on that. We talked about that on and off camera on Wednesday. They only ran that running back an average of 10 times a game. So their prolific offense was really from the passing game. And when you saw he had time, man, he threw some dimes out there.
He did.
And I think really what disrupted the universe tonight was him running for his life. I mean, who wants 75 to hit you and then you turn around in 70 or 33 or, 51 or, pick a number here. And like I said, we had you guys watching the game. There was 6 linemen following Nick Miller down there going, hey, put me in. Usually you get the running backs or, the people that want, hey, put me in, coach. You had linemen going, let me get in there. Come on.
They were itching for a fight tonight.
Yeah.
So, Spike, we're going to let you call it. You saw our votes, but this is kind of your baby.
I will never, ever admit that I'm wrong on anything. Well, maybe about 30
because you're not.
Because you might have just been mistaken.
Well, I really liked the defensive line play tonight, and I thought about them, but then that thunderbolt hit me that said offensive line and the way that we just continued to grind it out. So I got okay, defensive line. I go with gusto to it.
The KK collision unit of the game is the defensive line. And I'll tell you what, Scott, you got some final stats. Where's Bergstrom at, our statistician there? Get him on camera here.
Bergstrom Barrett, our SID in training. Good job tonight.
Takes care of us.
Maybe he ought to read it. You suppose?
Yikes, you want to read this? All right.
Maybe next year. Right. He said he was in training, Spike.
Yeah, he's in training. Spike kind of pulled the old surprise there. I like that. All right, tonight, dominating performance over a pretty good Huron team, Liberty Center in total yards, 407 against Huron's 74. That is an impressive differential in total yardage. Rushing tonight, Liberty Center, 34 rushes for 348 yards, completely dominating, speaking to Spike's offensive line, unit of the game type vote tonight. Huron went for 35 yards on 19 carries. There just wasn't a lot of room, and they had some good running backs. Passing tonight, we were 4 for 9 for 59 yards, and not a lot of that was necessary, but a couple key passes early. Huron, 9 for 25 for 39 yards. Wow. I mean, that is a lot of good players on that side of the ball, especially on the perimeter, and Liberty Center just made guys disappear. Tackles tonight, Trenton Cruz had 6. I got Xander Zeiter unofficially for 9 tackles.
Yeah, he had a big night.
I mean, that is phenomenal. And remember, he ain't a linebacker. He is a defensive. He is a nose guard. 9 tackles by Xander Zeiter, and that was impressive. 9 tackles. So Liberty Center tonight, Colton Cruz went for 195 yards and 4 touchdowns. His brother, Trenton Cruz, went for 86 yards on 10. The Cruz Coalition was in full effect tonight. Gary had some great plays, too, on special teams. So great job by Liberty Center. That was a dominating performance tonight by the Tigers.
All right. Those are the picks. Next week, the Liberty Center Tigers will go up against the
Oak Harbor Rockets.
Yeah, and boy, now she starts. The price of poker just went up.
Dial it up.
Get ready.
Well, and again, the comparisons here, it'll be a 24-0 teams, both 12-0.
Yes, sir.
Both teams won tonight, 41-7. Okay, and you can't ask for much more than that. It's going to be a hard-fought battle. We don't know where yet. The consensus of all the text messages think it's probably going to be Perrysburg. A lot of people said Lake, but we're pretty sure Lake's under construction, so they're out of the running for that. But we don't know. We could be. Who knows? We will know Sunday when they announce the site and the site manager. Our name will be on the list immediately, and we'll do everything we can to bring you that game. Even if we got to do it from outside the fence.
Yeah.
Spike will climb the fence, Spike, and see what's going on. So
Well, we got a heavyweight battle next week, Liberty Center, Oak Harbor. That is going to be one good-looking football game.
In the final moments, it is Coldwater 28, Archbold 14. So it appears that the Archbold Blue Streak season is going to come to an end. Patrick Henry way up. Napoleon, man, they had to go all the way to Glenville. And I will have the score for you.
I think they took a smackarino like last year against Glenville.
34-7 midway through the fourth quarter.
Okay.
So, and then what was the one, Defiance? I wanted to get the Defiance score
Central
in here. See, that was
Toledo
Central Catholic and Defiance.
They were in a Donnybrook.
Yep, 21-20.
41. They're down 41-26 in the fourth quarter. But I'll tell you what, Central Catholic was the D2 state champion last year, and they've got 3 Division I linemen for Central Catholic.
Boy.
So,
Travis Cooper's coaching Defiance up. Looks a little bit more like Jerry Beauty's football teams now. Look out, WBL.
Yep. All right, Spiker, let's get out of here, and we got to get our gear out of here tonight as tomorrow the 8-man championship is here.
Nice.
Holgate Tigers will take on the Toledo Christian
Is it Crusaders, or what are they down there?
Crusader. Yeah,
Might be the Crusaders.
I don't know. For
might
sure.
be.
Toledo. No, I don't remember.
But what are they?
The Eagles.
Eagles!
Yeah. Should have known that.
Flying in tomorrow.
We'll be back for Powder Puff on Wednesday at 1:30, and then we'll have the game on Friday. Location to be determined.
All right, well, that's pretty well going to wrap it up for Dan Kessler, the overseer and watcher, and Boom Boom Bauman, high school freshman on all the not statistical, but all the electronics and all of that stuff that I don't know the first thing about. Great job here. He moans and groans a lot, makes a lot of noise, yells and complains.
He says nothing.
Other than that, he's a great kid. No, he don't say nothing. All right, and for Jigs and for Mr. Barrett and Mark the Captain Bly, Scott the Barrett, and Spiker here, 41-7. Liberty Center now at 12-0. They'll move on next week farther into the OHSAA playoffs, and we'll see you then from here with Tiger Sports Live. On that, everybody, good night. Good Tiger Sports.